All right, what is going on and how y'all doing today on a Monday, January 16th? It is Martin Luther King Day, and let's never forget the impact that man made on a lot of our lives today where, hey, brother, wouldn't even be doing what I'm doing right now. So, uh, not going to forget uh, what that means today. Hope someone had an opportunity to go serve, which is really what today has turned into. So we hope that those of you had a chance to just, if not do anything, just to think about it for a couple of seconds. But this is your Unc here on a Monday, long holiday weekend. Had an opportunity this weekend to celebrate my wife's birthday. She reached a milestone of 50, and just happy and to spend some time with her and family and friends, and just want to shout out to her, who is a very avid member of the Atlanta Bird Gang, and just saying happy birthday to her again. Her actual birthday was yesterday, but yeah, just enjoyed that. Had an opportunity to go to San Juan, Puerto Rico. Never been there before, but there now, so that I could say I've gone. Had a good time. I wanted to do some live stuff from there, but I just didn't get an opportunity because it's obviously more about celebrating her. But nice, very nice. Had a good time. Stayed near the beach there, and one of the hotels. So just a good overall time there, and got an opportunity to watch a couple of the games. Of course, the Chargers game, and didn't get a chance to see Seattle and San Francisco because they didn't have a station there that was showing that. So that was kind of jacked up. But nevertheless, we had a good time and enjoyed ourselves that week. But as I was sitting down watching the game, my son and I, and my son Tyler, who is basically my sounding board, because all the opinions I try to have, he just turned 18, so you can't tell him everything. And a lot of times I'm just trying to tell you, man, he's on point with a lot of the things he says. And we were just noticing, hey, this is like 5 straight years where we have nothing to do with the playoffs. And be quite honest with you, 2 to 3 weeks prior to the season ending, we're, kind of stumbling into the end, and we're just getting tired of that, man. So I've heard, and we could talk a little bit about that too. You've heard so many rumors about what players you want to try to get, what draft, what folks we want to get in the draft. But I just want to be a little more specific today, not so much of the name of the player, but what does this family need? What does this organization need to go forward in 2023? And when I say that, I'm not talking specific Lamar Jackson, Deron Payne, draft CJ Stroud, whatever. But what does this organization need from maybe a position standpoint? If you want to say we need 2 quality, and if you say we need a defensive tackle, I'm going to imagine you're not talking about a practice squad tackle. So I'll get that out of the way. So we'll talk about what do we need in this organization to help us out. So I'm welcoming you all in. I put my link at the top, and what I'm going to do is probably going to be one of those where we'll let everybody shoot in for a couple of minutes, and then we'll keep it moving, because I noticed the last couple of times I've done streams, I haven't paid attention to the comments 100%. And I'm all about my comments, because I appreciate everyone doing that, being able to talk one-on-one and make it feel like your comment means well. You mean well when you send a comment to me. I am very appreciative of that. So I want to make sure that you all know too. But the link is at the top of the comments board if you want to shoot in for a couple of minutes to ask the question. And the other question that my son and I talked about this weekend that we had a lot of debate on: who right now currently in the NFL is a Hall of Fame player? aside of Tom Brady. That's like the obvious one. Who is a Hall of Fame player right now? Doesn't really even matter the years into you. If this player stopped their career right now, who is a Hall of Fame person? Who are they fitting for a jacket at this moment? All right, let me go down to the comments for everybody. David Starks always in the house. What's going on, brother David? It's good to have you in with us today. This famous person, I don't see a name. Unfortunately, sometimes the StreamYard is kind of weird. Rise up. Let's put some rumors to bed. Do you think we have a chance at LJ? And who's your new pick for our new DC? Ooh, that's a good one right there. We're going to get on both of those questions in a little bit. Let me raise down because a lot of y'all have already joined, and I totally appreciate it. We are going to address those questions. Davis also says, happy birthday, Mr. Johnson. Man, I appreciate that, man. And I think she's probably watching, I'm sure, up in the other room. But I appreciate that, and she appreciates that. She had a ball, man. I'm trying to tell you, man. And dude, that face of an angel. Many people have accused me of kind of, I don't know, almost basically going to the playground to get her because she looks so young. And I promise you I didn't, but she just has that youthful, beautiful face and lights up our world every day. And I appreciate her. But thank you, David. I appreciate that. Lot of birthday says happy birthday to Mrs. Johnson. Y'all, Steve was on that P-jet. No private jet. Wasn't no private jet, man. We were rolling, man. We all roll like that, man. We just having a good time, man. No. But I will pass my birthday wishes along as well. Travis says, good afternoon. Happy birthday, Mrs. Johnson. So, Kira, I hope you are watching on TV. These nice people are saying happy birthday. Scooter, what's going on, Scooter? He says happy birthday, Auntie. And she is, again, I'm going to make sure that she, if she's not sitting here watching right now, she goes back and looks at all these things. Thank you, Scooter. Appreciate you, brother. John Higgins in the house. What's going on, my friend? Good to see you in here as well. C. Freeman Bay, what's going on, Steve? Straight to it. We need one of those defensive monsters from UGA to help out Grady. And happy birthday to your missus. Thank you so much. It's interesting to say that. My son he's not the biggest Jalen Carter fan. I know we've had a lot of people that have talked about him, and he's not. I know Nolan Smith has heard he's going to get drafted for sure, probably first round as well. But I don't know why my son isn't a Jalen fan. Maybe because he didn't make any flash plays recently. But I like Jalen. But my son, man, he is not a huge fan of his. I don't get it. I don't get it. But I don't know. Gregory, what is going on, sir? Even though our beloved Falcons are out, there are a slew of good games yesterday. I busted out the grill. Man, don't talk about that, man. I want to get my grill started. I probably will too, Greg. I probably will. You busted out the grill and the smoker yesterday, grilled leftovers today. Strangely, they taste better. No, man, that means you doing your job. If you're doing your job well, they will taste better the next day, without a doubt. My brother Marcus Washington is in the house. And if you guys don't get an opportunity, please go to YouTube. Check him out on the Mark. He does his dissertation as only brother Marcus can do. Y'all make sure y'all check him out on YouTube. On the Mark is the name of the channel. Please do that. Dre, what's going on? What up? Let's get to it. Yes, sir. Tim McCarthy, what's going on, Tim? How you doing? My opinion is we need cornerback. That's kind of interesting, Tim. I'm one of those people, too. I'm going to lean defensively for what we have going on. I think we do need an influx of defensive players on this team. And I'm not sure, draft-wise, definitely you want to try to get the better defensive players up front. But I think free agency, you probably need to direct those energies towards a cornerback, maybe a safety, some linebacker help, even though I would love to try to re-sign possibly Rashad Evans and get him to keep helping with the maturation of Troy Anderson and maybe bring somebody else in there too. But yeah, cornerback is a good position. David says needs help for Grady, corner on the other side of AJ, and a number 2 receiver to take the top off the defense. That's the one thing we don't have. As much as yes, Bird stood in for a play or two. Hodge was there. But we need that other guy. If you can't tell Drake London isn't that guy, I don't know what you've been looking at. Drake London is ready to explode, especially when he gets somebody else. Yeah, we're going to get Kyle as well. But when he gets that person on that other side of him that can get some attention away, oh my goodness, he's going to be nice. But yeah, I wouldn't mind that either. Another question we had was Hall of Fame players right now active in the league. And this is a perfect example. Nephew Armani is in the house as usual. What's going on, Armani? He says Patrick Mahomes. That's what I'm looking for. Those guys that you say right now, if the season stopped, if their career stopped, no matter where they are. And Patrick Mahomes hasn't even reached, what was it, 2017? So what, 6 years, 5 years? I think he's a Hall of Famer right now. Right now, if something unfortunately happened and whatever, he would be a Hall of Fame player right now. I agree with that. Travis comes back and says we need a strong body DT to pair with Grady. We haven't had one of those. And it's not like we haven't tried, Travis. That's the thing that bothers me. We've tried to get defensive tackles. We tried for Hagelman. We tried for Pierre Jerry. We tried for Sadat. We tried for Marlon Davidson. It's not like the organization hasn't tried, but those guys haven't panned out. And that's just, I just hate it because it seems like that would be such an awesome pairing with Grady Jarrett. And you just see Grady right now, he's doing well, but look, it's no secret. When you get in them 30s, man, sometimes you never know that motor might tend to stop. Now, in his case, he definitely had a great bounce back year. Grady didn't have the greatest year in 2021 to me. He had an okay year. He had a really good year in 2022. And if we can just get somebody in there to help him before he reaches the peak or starts going on the other side of that hill, that would be lovely. Dre Anthony says Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is absolutely one of those guys. Man, I saw Key and Peele. I was watching Key and Peele the other day. Man, if y'all don't ever watch that, go on YouTube. Those two guys. Everybody talked about the Chappelle Show, which was absolutely groundbreaking. But don't sleep on those brothers, man. Those cats were really good in that Key and Peele show. John says Puerto Rico, nice. Oh yeah, man, we had a ball. We had an absolute ball when we did there. If you have an opportunity to go, make sure you check it out, man. I didn't get a chance to, as my brother Alberto of 95 North Sports Talk, he's on YouTube as well. Please make sure you check him out as far as, and also my brother Smitty on Smitty Sports Machine on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to them. He got on me because he's like, man, you should have called me. I could have given you some tips on what's going on there. And I owe him for that. Ghost Peppers in the house says Patrick Mahomes, Hall of Fame. Absolutely. Kevin Bush comes in. What's up, Kevin? How you doing, my friend? He says Aaron Rodgers. Again, I agree with that well. Now, this is somebody off the top, and I agree 100% with this, Mike. Hate to say it, Mike Evans, 10 years, 1,000-yard receiver, I believe. Not only, yet he is very consistent, Michael. And my son and I had a kind of slight disagreement with that. But you think about, he's had 3 different quarterbacks in his regime, and he's been just as consistent. Now he has the ring to back it up. He's unfortunately in an era where during his prime, AB, Julio, and D-Hop have pretty much dominated the landscape when you talk about wide receivers. And one of the things I've always said was, if you're a Hall of Famer, you have to be one of the top 3 players in your position over an extended time. And I think Mike Evans, unfortunately, has not gotten to that top 3 because you have those 3 guys over you. Now AB is gone. Now the young bucks are coming up. You're talking about Justin. You're talking about Jamar Chase. You're talking about Tyreek Hill. I mean, it's hard for him to get in, but the one thing you can say, which Michael did point out, is his consistency. He is very consistent. That's a very good pick. RJ in the house. What's going on, brother? How you doing? Everything going all right? Winston in the house as usual. What's going on, brother Winston? Kevin Bush says, happy birthday to the better half, man. Thank you so much. My wife thanks you. I appreciate that. Armani says Tyreek Hill. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going back to Mike Evans because with Mike Evans and Tyreek is coming close to that. Mike Evans has that 10 years. With wide receivers, because the game is so much about passing these days, you have to be extraordinary for a long period of time. For wide receiver, unfortunately, you're probably going to have to hit that 8, 9, 10-year mark consistently to do this. I've always argued, and this is crazy, I know a lot of people might disagree with me. I've always argued, I'm not sure if Marvin Harrison should be a Hall of Fame player. Should have been, because I think he is already now. Because I think the game has turned into such volume. In the 80s and 90s, when we were growing up, and I'm not trying to date ourselves, but it's true, 80-yard receptions and 1,200-yard seasons were like out of this world. Now, rookies come in with 80 catches, 85 catches, and stuff like that. I mean, how do you argue with that? I mean, that's just the way the game is played right now. It really is. And so when I think about that, I just say, I was like, slow down on some of the stuff. But Tyreek is one of those guys. I just need maybe another year or 2 from him. Joining me right now, that's my brother John Higgins in the house. What's going on, big brother?
Hey, what's happening? How you doing?
Man, I can't call it, brother. I hope you had a great long weekend, man. Talk to me on a couple of these things we talking about today. First, putting the GM hat on John and saying, John, I need not specific names, but where would you go if you're a GM? What would you do to improve the Falcons right now going into 2023?
Well, let me say first, happy birthday to the missus.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm glad y'all got down to Puerto. Was Puerto Rico still? Had they put it back together pretty good down there? Or what was going on?
You know what? Where we were, it looked like it was put together pretty well, and I know it was hit real hard last year. No, it was very nice. The strip right along. We were on the Condado Beach, so it was real nice. You saw remnants of a couple of things, but nothing really bad. It's a very good tourist spot. But yeah, man, check it out. It is really nice.
Gotcha. Now to your question, me personally, I'm gonna feed off your son. I don't think the big guy down in Georgia big enough for the defense line in here for me. I want that mammoth. We hadn't had that mammoth-sized man since Ontario Poe.
Yeah.
After Poe left, Grady started having problems.
Yep.
So once we find that 360-pounder that can just go from guard to guard, I don't need him going to tackle. I need to plug up the guard from guard and let everybody else roam between them tackles and between the tackles. But I need that mammoth man, whether he's in the draft or we can get him out of free agency. That's what I need. That's what I need on that defense. Offensive line, we can show up a guard spot and go from there with that. But I think if Wilkerson get back healthy, he might lock it down again.
Right. Right. Let me ask you a question while you're talking about that. Would you try to with McGarry? McGarry is going to be a tricky one. You have the GM hat. Now, you know, he struggled those first couple of years and had a really good 2022. Now it's time to make a decision. Do you try to entice him to come back? He's going to cost you. Or do you go in another direction and bring somebody else in here more solid?
Now, with me, I always look at my dollar, my bottom line dollar.
Yeah.
If you finna cost me a lot of money, I can't use you.
I got you.
Because I can't win. I can't win a Super Bowl with one player.
That's true. This
I
is
need
true.
a combination of. I can't win it with just you. So you know, if you're not gonna kill my pocket, then you welcome back. You welcome back. But if you finna kill my pocket, I can't use you.
And so again, I'm gonna shoot it at you again. So you on a roll, because this is what I want to talk to everybody about. When y'all come on, this is what I want to talk about. So again, you got the GM hat. Somebody just walked in the room and say, "Hey, John, just what, man? Man, Lamar, man, they just franchised. We can get him for a first round this year and a first round next year, but he gonna cost us about $210 guaranteed, which would be about $50 million a year." What are you gonna say?
No, sir, because I don't think his accuracy with throwing the football is not that good. To me,
No.
I don't see it.
It's your opinion. This you got the GM hat on. I ain't asking nobody else.
I'm not gonna pay a man that 3 steps above Mariota.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm just not gonna do it. Yeah, you can hit the tight end, but I'm gonna need you to throw it downfield. When I go draft some speedy receivers or get somebody speedy out of the free agency department, I need you to be able to hit them.
Yeah, you got to.
And over the years, he hadn't showed he can hit it. He can't throw about nobody but tight end. I mean, that's the only person he hit.
And Kyle Pitts will argue that he didn't exactly throw it great to him either. You ask Kyle Pitts that question, he might question you, John. He might say, "When did he throw it to be good?"
I say Baltimore is just 3 steps up from that. I can't use it. I can't use it. Not for no $210 million guarantee. No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
That's a fair question. Okay, so I'm gonna pepper at you again. So that means you're saying I'm assuming you're saying that you're Team Ritter, and you're gonna and that's fair. So
now, you know, I said this on your earlier when we were together once before.
Yes, sir.
I want to see what our coaches can do with Ritter. Now, if you can make him great by coaching him up, if you can coach him up, then we'll be good.
Okay, you got the hat on. Do you think the coaches we have in place are the coaches that we need for him?
I do, because what they've had to work with last couple of years, they did a masterful job. They have did a masterful job. I do. I really do. I think we got to coach staff, according on what we do with this DC, we got to come up with over the next.
Yes.
That's gonna tell the story. Now, me personally on that, we're gonna go into that. So we're talking about it. The DC that took over for Pease when he got hurt at New Orleans.
Right.
Game, he called a great game in that New Orleans game.
Yes, he did. Yes,
he called a great game. He called a great game in that New Orleans game.
And think about it. He called that not knowing he was gonna call a game. That's exactly. You're right about that.
Which mean him and DNP was on the same page the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Any names that get your attention? Of course, we've been hearing Brian Flores, the young guy out of Denver. Is there anybody that catches your ear for that, or not really? Not at this moment.
Not really. I don't want anything from Denver, because Denver ain't winning nothing. I don't want nothing from Denver. They keep all that out there. They keep the coaching staff. They keep the player. They keep everything out there. No.
Well, I gotta ask you too the other question that we had on the line today. Right now in the NFL, and you can name more than one. If their career started, an active player going right now, other than Tom Brady, who would you say is Hall of Fame at this moment? If you had a vote to say
But
who,
you got several.
yeah, talk to me. Talk to
You
me.
got the quarterback out there in Kansas City. He going
Yes,
in. His tight end he throw to. He's going in.
Yes, sir.
Oh my God, you got it. They hadn't won anything, but I think the Jefferson with Minnesota,
Right.
I'm gonna give him another year so he can send another couple of years so he can keep doing what he's doing. But if he stay on that same path, he's going in with no problem.
Absolutely. Did you hear the person that we mentioned earlier, Tampa Bay? Just to hear your thoughts on that. I know he plays for the Bucks, but Mike Evans, who's been around a long time.
Mike Evans going in. Mike Evans going. He will go in right away. He will go in right away.
Yeah.
You can't keep his stats speaks for themselves. You can't keep him out.
Absolutely. That's what I'm looking for, folks. This was perfect, and nobody else is going to do it perfect except my boy John. Anyway, Big John always look out for me. John, I appreciate you, my brother. Please stay on the line on the thread and keep answering with us, man. I appreciate you as always, my friend.
I will. I'll be right in every time I see you, Steve.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, buddy.
Y'all take care.
All right. Thank you, John. I appreciate you, man. That's what I'm talking about. So if you want to join, go to the top of the link of comments, and that's what we're going to do today. We're gonna just get in and talk to you guys for a couple of minutes and see what you think. What would you do if you had the GM hat on right now? What would you do? Dre comes on and says Jalen needs to show continuous motivation off the line. Yes, sir. Absolutely, Dre. Absolutely. Kevin, good to hear from you too, my friend. Good to always hear from you. The Astro bond never dies. Facebook user says we need to spend more on defense and pass rush and a bull to put beside Bailey with Grady. But I'm talking about Bailey. Grady with this money. I agree 100% with that. And I'm going to tell you, it kind of varies day to day. Listen, if somebody tells me that you want to get Lamar, I'm not going to totally dog you because I do feel like Lamar is somebody that he's an upgrade. I know people don't want to say it, but he's an upgrade. I see everybody's jumping in now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring the three of y'all in. My brother Brandon in the house right there. How you doing, Brandon?
What's going on?
As always, my brother Anthony White's in the house. Always checking us out. And big time Greg Brown. Y'all need to check him out. Brother be making some shoes. He be doing some detailing on them shoes and stuff. What's going on, Greg?
What's going on, man? I'm trying to see why my camera ain't kicking.
It's all good, man. I can hear your voice. So it's like, there you go. There you go. I see you.
What's going on, man?
Man, I've been doing all right. I hope all of you brothers been having a great weekend this weekend. So listen, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put the question out. I'm gonna run it through the three of y'all, and we can knock this out all at once. All three of y'all have the same job. All of you are GMs. All of you. Okay. So the first thing I'll ask, and you don't have to be specific with a player, but tell me what position. So Brandon, I'm going to start with you first. Brandon, you are the GM of the Atlanta Falcons. You got a whole lot of money in your pocket. First day of free agency. What are you doing?
Woo! First day of free agency. we got to do something about that pass rush. We got to do something about the defense as a whole. But definitely the pass rush, definitely the secondary. And I think you could kind of get you some offensive pieces in the draft.
Okay, you're going to go offense in the draft. I'm going to add one more person in here, and I know that she's been coming into the stream a lot later. Miss Pamela, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I am doing well. So I want you to listen. I hope you've been listening. So you know you're going to be up after the next two. We're going to ask you the same questions. So be ready. Okay. So Anthony, you're next. You are the GM of the Atlanta Falcons, 2023. I'm sorry. Very first day of free agency. You got money in your pocket. What are you doing first?
Well, this is going to be short and sweet for me. We watched all your playoff games this weekend. One thing y'all saw, front seven work will win you a football game. Look at San Francisco. Look at Jacksonville.
That's true.
So the first thing I'm
That's
doing,
true.
I'm fixing the front seven. I'm going to get me a good defensive tackle. I'm going to get some edge rushers, and I'm going to get a linebacker or two. But that's it. Front seven, pass rush, run defense. You can win a Super Bowl with that.
Absolutely, you can. Okay, don't. Okay, you got to go to the other half. What are you doing in the draft too? You still on the clock?
Okay,
Anthony?
on the draft. In the draft, I'll get a outside wide receiver, probably a left guard, center, and I'll probably get another edge rusher. Or I'm getting edge rusher in the draft as well as free agency. I'm hitting that a lot, but I'm getting wide receiver, probably offensive tackle or offensive guard in the draft.
Okay, you and Brandon stay by because I got to come back and ask you the second question too. Gregory, talk to me, brother. If I can get a GM hat on all them dreads up top, if I can get a hat that fit on your head, what would you do? Day one free agency, Greg. You got the money. Talk to me. Where we going? Where we going first?
I would get a nose. That way you can move Evan Katie around a little bit. So if we got that nose and Grady, you can rotate them a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would come around and I would get a linebacker. You know, I wouldn't even go in the draft. I would get a veteran linebacker, somebody who can teach Troy Anderson how to tackle a little bit better. Not saying he's bad, but all that's with the rookie. You know, he's a rookie, so a lot of that is developmental.
Yes,
that's
sir.
all we need. And we definitely need somebody on the other side of AJ. Definitely need that. Now, if we build them bases right there, I think we'll be decent. If Jaguars can do it, we can do it, man. I don't see no other reason that we can't do it.
They have given us the blueprint. Talk to me a little bit more though. I need one more thing. Push you down into April in the draft. Where you going in the draft?
I would get a speedster on the other side of London, because see, just like everybody's talking about Mike Evans, look at London and look at Mike Evans. There's really not too much difference except experience.
Yes.
They catch the ball the same way. They high point the ball the same way. They're basically the same exact player. But now we need that speed. We need that speed over there. See, if we can get that speed and use him in possession, man, that's a good base right there, man. That's a good base.
That's where you start. Miss Pamela, you on the clock now. We got a GM hat coming on you. The first day free agency. You got over $70 million to spend. You've been watching this Atlanta Falcons team. What do you go out and do first?
I probably wouldn't get another linebacker because I like Carter and Evans already and Troy Anderson. So I would re-sign those three. I would probably go ahead in the free agent to try to get the nose tackle, defensive tackle, and the corners if I can. Mm-hmm. And Nico Hartman, if he's available, I'll get him add to that wide receiver. That probably could help Drake London a little bit. We need a speedster on there. And in the draft, we'll probably go the same way like they did last year. Get the best available wide receiver, best available player, pretty much. Because they got the best available player, and then they went ahead and addressed the defense and the corners and safety. We gotta definitely draft the safety in the draft if we can find one good safety. I would love to get a good running back in the draft as well. Because no offense to Cordell Patterson, he's getting up in age. We're just gonna need a thunder and lightning in that backfield along with Agier. And Ritter, I'm Team Ritter. I think you need to put players around him and keep him moving. We don't spend no money on no quarterback. Need to get a backup. If we can get Bridgewater or Brissett, I'm good. I'm cool with them.
All right, y'all. Now y'all see she already pushed me out the host set, and she done broke it down better than any three of y'all. So I'm embarrassed for all three of y'all being on this screen with this lady.
I ain't gonna say that.
I saw what I'm pretty happy with Team Fortner and Smith the way they doing. So whatever they decide in the draft for free agent, I'm on board.
Miss Pamela,
I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
Let me throw you a question.
Go ahead.
All right, I see everybody's on Ritter's neck. I really think. What you think? I think we should give that boy some time because I really think he can develop, man. I really think he can. I really think Ritter, the quarterback.
No, we already gave him enough time. He sat down and had the clipboard behind Mariota and Ragon and worked
4 games ain't enough though.
It's time for him
to 4 games ain't enough.
And you need to push him out there. Period. You don't
now
need
4
to,
games
you don't
ain't
need
enough.
to get
no other games ain't enough.
You need to address that. I mean, he's it. You need to build around him.
Go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. You misinterpret him. You misinterpret him. I'm asking. I'm saying 4 games is not enough to give him. 4 games is not enough to assess him on. I think he gonna evolve. That's what I'm saying. I think you misinterpreted me a little bit. I ain't saying kick him out the door.
I think he kind of agreeing with you, Miss Pamela. That's what I think he was. I think he kind of agreeing with you. See, Miss Pamela coming. Let me tell you something. She said, if I'm gonna come on here, I'm coming for next. I ain't coming out here to be nice to y'all.
Oh yeah, I see it. But what you, in your opinion, what you think, What you think?
I'm going to keep my options open, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell y'all why. I'm going to be real with y'all.
Okay.
Listen, and Anthony's going to come right after me because he been holding up. All of us are diehard Falcon fans. Mm-hmm. Every last one of us have been disappointed in 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. Mm-hmm. While I'm a proponent of allowing people to progress and allowing people to grow, as a fan, and not that this means anything because a fan is a fan, and also somebody who invests into going in that stadium every week, I want to see some you can't sell me in 2023 on let's wait to progress. Let's wait to develop. I want it now. I'm greedy. I'm selfish, and I want it now. So while don't get me wrong, because you're right, Miss Pamela, you're right. I'm Team Ritter too. As long as he's wearing a Falcon uniform, I'm down with him. But I will say this. If there is some way that we can elevate talent at the quarterback position without giving away our full set of clothes, I will try to do it. And Anthony, go ahead. I know you've been trying to speak for a couple seconds. Go ahead, brother.
This is my thing. I like Ritter. I think he has some talent. I think he has potential. But you got to look at this offseason coming up. I think this is the biggest offseason the Falcons have had since 2008. You have to win next year.
Yeah.
If you can win with Ritter, fine. I have no problem with it. But I'm keeping all options open when it comes to quarterback position. Which means if Noah Smith say, hey, I like Stroud or I like somebody in the draft, I'm taking them. If they don't like anybody in the draft, okay, I can get a veteran backup or I can get a veteran to start. I'm keeping all options open with the quarterback. Okay. I'm not marrying. I might date Ritter. Okay. I'm not marrying him right now.
Could I say
somebody else come in, I can do that.
Sure.
Okay.
Go ahead and finish. I'm sorry.
And that's what with me. I like Ritter, but like I said, if you say the front office y'all believe in, and the front office say, I like him, but I want to get this guy. I'm good with that too. Because next year they have to win next year.
I'm gonna come back to you, Miss Pamela. Brandon, what you think, brother? I didn't get your take.
Well, you gotta think too, though. We got some pieces in house that we got to take care of. Number one, we got to take care of McGarry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So let's say that. Let's say we take care of McGarry. But then Isaiah Oliver has stepped his game up the past 2 years.
Yeah. That's actually really and keep in mind, y'all. I keep telling y'all $70 million. That does not include the obvious cutting of Mariota, which is going to save us $12 million. And we're going to have some folks on this team, folks, that we might lead. OZ, I love OZ, but I'm not sure if he's going to be here next year. I don't know. So we'll see. Go ahead, Ms. Pamela. What were you going to say?
I think OZ will be here because he's the third receiver, and I saw him and Ritter kind of getting a connection, So I'll keep him. I'll keep Alama Azia. I keep him. But like I said, adding Miko Hartman to that wide receiver thing, that would help.
That would be good.
I'm not liking the wide receiver coach Yates. I'd rather get Roddy White in as a wide receiver coach if they can do that. But I know they ain't gonna do that.
Says who? Shoot, if you can get him,
I think Roddy need to be a coach in that wide receiver room.
But can he coach though?
I think he can coach.
That's true.
I think he did
a pretty good job with Julio and Ridley. Why now he can? How can he not coach that? Because he was with Drake London during the summer.
And here's the thing you got to think about too. She has a point. We got a wide receiver. We got a running back coaching the quarterback. We got a quarterback coaching the wide receivers. Mm-hmm. So in her defense, shoot, we need to get a wide receiver coaching the wide receivers. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't mind that. I'm gonna come around real quick and ask y'all Hall of Fame players because we got some other people coming on, and I appreciate y'all totally. My brother Brandon, one Hall of Fame player playing today that's not named Tom Brady.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Steve. Hall of Fame player not named Tom Brady.
That's actively playing.
That's easy, man. Ooh. Come back to me. Let me think about
it. What you got, Ant?
Trent Williams, San Francisco 49ers left tackle.
Trent Williams is a automatic, and I'm surprised people don't come to the offensive and defensive line, but Trent Williams has dominated his position for the last decade, and he is real good. Miss Pamela, who do you have?
Okay, I got two players. I like Watts out of Arizona. He's retiring this year.
Yes.
So Watts is one. And I'll still go with Matty Ice, Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
He's getting a lot of abuse because I still think he could play top level. He just got to get players and he got to get staff. He got to get line. Got to get a good offensive line and get. He's got a running back already. And and they got to build up on the receiver. I think he's pretty good. And that defense, they need, just like us, they need to work on that defense.
Here's my only thing, and I'm gonna say, Miss Pamela, because I don't want everybody to think I'm gonna just agree with everything you say. Because Matt Ryan, you ran off about 8 things he need to do to win. And with my quarterback, I need my quarterback to be special enough to cover deficiencies. Now, Matt did that at one time he did. The last 3 to 4 years, especially him being here, he did not cover that up. I'm not telling you he isn't eligible to be special.
Yeah.
But I am saying he has to have the perfect situation. And everybody said, oh, Indy got this, Indy got that. And he went there and he was on the bench after week 8.
Yeah.
I know that's not totally his fault, but you know, it's fair. I just want to be fair to what you say.
And another thing, when he got benched, he didn't do like Mariota,
that's true.
Kicking out and back out. He helped that quarterback. That's one thing. He's a class A. And a lot of people don't realize that there's a lot of Matt haters.
Yes.
But that's one thing I can say good about him. He's not a quitter. He just go ahead and he's all about the team winning. And he assists that rookie or whoever in there to try to help them win.
More than Tom Brady, more than a lot of people in the quarterback community right now. Matt Ryan has more goodwill about how he went about his business being a professional quarterback.
He's a class A.
That's the one thing you could say about him that is clearly in his favor as far as Hall of Fame. Bring us home, Greg. Who's your Hall of Fame person?
Man, I ain't never seen nothing like number 99 and got dog Rams, man. I ain't never seen nothing like that. I ain't never seen nothing like that. Look, man, anytime you try to triple block him and he still splits off, ain't nothing else to talk about.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen nothing like that. I follow him on Instagram. And I look at his workout regimen, it don't make no sense.
That brother,
it don't make no sense.
And the way you said it don't. The way you said you said it exactly. It don't make no sense how good he is.
For those Atlanta
I ain't
fans,
never seen that like that, man.
for those Atlanta fans in the city, the Atlanta Hawks just defeated the Miami Heat 121-113. So good news.
All right.
Brandon, take us home. Brandon, do you have somebody now?
Yeah, I'm gonna say this, and this is for the Dirty Birds. If he keep playing like he playing, Chris Lindstrom gonna be in the Hall.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know how we talking about that money we gonna have this year? Chris Lindstrom just made the Pro Bowl. He just graded out as one of the. It was some list that I saw where he graded out as the number 2. So Miss Pamela, Gregory, Anthony, that money that we have, a good amount is going to unfortunately have to go his way because he's earned it. I don't have a problem.
I don't have no problem with that.
Yeah, giving the money to people that's here, I don't have a problem doing that at all. But Brandon, Anthony, Gregory, Miss Pamela, I appreciate y'all. I'm bringing the next few folks in here. Thank y'all so much, and y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Monday. Y'all keep coming back now. Keep coming back to me.
Oh yeah, I'm staying on.
Y'all be good. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank you. All right, brother. Yes, all right. Look, man, this is exactly what I like to do, man. This is why I enjoy doing these things. These two of my big dogs here. Brother David in the house up there chilling. What's going on, brother David? How you doing?
What's going on, Steve, man?
And you know I'm doing and right under me, for some reason I thought he was in the airplane. Him and Coach Roney was up there underneath the airplane baggage stuff going to Puerto Rico with us. I felt his presence, but Big Low in the house.
What in the world, Bob?
What's going on? Y'all catch Big Low, man. Big Low, tell him where you are on YouTube, brother.
Hey, man, I'm just an old country boy, former football coach that love to talk about sports, man. Big Low Country on YouTube. Check us out, man.
And there is no better show to go to, man. Y'all want to have some fun and talk football. But again, I got 2 of my boys. So I'm here. That went well. I love that, man. This is the kind of stuff we talking about, man. So let's talk about it, fellas. Y'all know already. Y'all know the questions on hand. Again, put the GM hat on. I'm gonna go to you first, Big Low. I'm gonna get you put that hat on. I know we talked about it, and not specific players. We'll get to that. We got plenty of time for that. But where do you go position-wise to improve this team? First through free agency, then through draft. How would you approach it?
I mean, to be honest with you, Uncle Steve, it's like if I look at the offensive side of the ball, the offensive side of the ball got a whole lot of young Thundercats over there, right? So it's like, I mean, you could draft over there on the offensive side. You know, some people mention, hey, why don't we get Hyatt, you know, as a number 2 wide receiver or something like that. But it's like, you need that veteran presence. So, I mean, I would seriously consider getting a veteran wide receiver on the offensive side of the ball, or, also consider getting a veteran offensive lineman, a veteran left guard, to kind of shore things up. On defense, everybody's been talking about how Grady needs help. Grady said he's fed up. Everybody see that Grady's fed up. You go ahead and draft somebody on that. I mean, the fact of the matter is the whole team is young. Right. But, I know everybody done got naked for the Ron Payne. It don't look like that's going to happen. You can put the clothes back on.
They get naked or butt naked there. Which one?
Man, they were butt naked, turning out with both.
and we're getting ready to in the next week or two, obviously, as teams get eliminated going down the line, David, we're about to see teams probably starting to declare which direction they're going in. Where are you going, David? First free agency, because that comes first. Free agency, how are you going to address the needs on this team? And then going into the draft, how are you going to approach that?
Well, Steve, as far as this money we got right now, I don't even want to play with Chris Lindstrom, and I want to re-sign Caleb McGarry.
Yeah.
I don't even want to play no games with Chris Lindstrom. Let's go ahead and get him locked up in a long-term deal. And yes, we're going to have to get a bag to Caleb McGarry.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then with the money we left over, maybe we go get Grady some help. You know what I'm saying, on that front line. I just saw, you know what I'm saying, Gap in New York's going to be a free agent.
Thomas. Yes.
Yeah. Thomas up in New York, he's going to be a free agent. And then in the draft, if all that can happen now in the draft, I'm probably going edge rusher. And in the second round, I'm going corner. And third round, like I said, I'm gonna take a wide out to take the top off of this coverage.
And wide receivers is pretty deep coming out this year too. Yeah. I like doing that. If you noticed, even last year after we drafted Drake, what was it? If I'm not mistaken, like 6 of the next 7 to 8 draft picks were wide receivers coming down the line. So that's something that, you know, we definitely need to look at. I'm gonna let y'all help me with some of these questions on here, since y'all so happy, kind enough to join me. C. Freeman Bay says, who's a better D tackle than Carter? Earlier, I had mentioned how my son was not a Jalen fan, probably because of the last 2 games where, you know, the only thing is with a position like D tackle, Ohio State, he definitely did not make his presence known, but it's hard. Sometimes if you're just not moving, like TCU wasn't moving, he might have been doing a little bit more in there. But he says, who's a better D tackle than Carter? We need to build the defense, no questions. By the way, did Reggie ever explain to you and Rod how push-ups help the grill? He's talking about my grilling. No, he did not, Charles. He did not. And I do a lot of grilling, so I apologize. So what y'all think, Carter? If Jalen is somehow, some way available, and I honestly don't think he will, but at number 8, or I'll say even this. Let me ask both of y'all this: if he's at 6 and he's gotten that far down, Bigelow, do you take a flyer and work something out real quick to jump and go get him, or you gonna just let it play out?
I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. I think a lot of it got to do with who our defensive coordinator is, because it's like if we're still running that 3-4 defense. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, why go with Jalen Carter? Like, he really doesn't. I mean, you know what I'm saying? With the way we're gonna run it, it's like, you know, if I'm getting a defensive tackle in the draft, I mean, to answer Mr. Freeman's question, I go for the Ika kid. I mean, because you know he fits that nose tackle position a little bit better for us. You know, 350, got a hot dog on the back of his neck. That's what you want.
Yep.
Right. Atlanta Bird Game comes in and says, any concern that we didn't extend any guys before the season ended, such as Rashard or McGarry? David, I'm gonna let you handle that.
No, not really. You know what I'm saying? We got time to extend those guys. You know, number one, the new league year don't start to March 15th, so we got plenty of time to extend those guys. You know what I'm saying? And they're both under contract, so they're not going anywhere.
Yes, no, Rashad is a free agent though.
Oh, Rashad is a free agent.
Rashad is definitely.
But like I said, you can't start really talking to people until the new league year. So, no real concern right now.
Okay.
I think with Evans and McGarry, we eventually get something done.
Yeah, I think McGarry would be my first concern, because I think he's somebody on day one that will be gone. I think he's somebody that as soon as that, you know, they talk about that tampering period, I think he's somebody that will be signed to a lot of money. So if you're the Falcons and you want to work something out, I think you need to jump on that real quick.
You know how the back room works, Steve.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Brother Kevin says we need a mobile quarterback. Atlanta's front office isn't going to do the homework and manage the team to greatness. But history has shown that if we get a guy that can convert on third downs, we can build the defense. And Kevin is probably watching a little bit of the playoffs, man. Listen, I cannot sit here and lie to you and say I don't share some of Kevin's thoughts as I'm looking at David Jones doing his thing, as I'm looking at Josh Allen being able to, kind of get a couple of yards himself. Now, Josh Allen needs to learn how to keep that ball. But
Josh Allen, his time coming.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So what do you think about that, Big Low? Or is Ritter still? Because Ritter has shown flashes that he can get out of some things. So what's your thought about the mobile quarterback?
Ritter runs a 4.5.
Yeah.
Like, how many guys out here run 4.5s? You acting like 4.5 guys just fall out of trees. Like, he's a mobile
quarterback. Grow from the ground, Big Low. They ain't fall out of trees. They grow out of trees. They sprout.
But I mean, Ritter, he's a mobile quarterback. He just looks to throw first. So, I think we can see how he's going to do moving forward, with the offseason behind him, and you'll be able to see a little bit of mobility and his throwing ability and everything else. What you think, Dave?
Yeah, you're right. He is. Like you say, he's a mobile quarterback that just looks to sit in the pocket and throw first. And he's shown you that when play breaks down, he can get outside. Now, I think he needs to work on, his footwork a little bit outside of the pocket.
Yeah.
But but he can get. But Riddick has shown that he can get out of some things and get upfield a little bit, and scamper for a couple yards. So he's a mobile quarterback.
But the thing is, he's small too. Cause he 207 with a few rolls of nickels in his pocket. So he's small now.
Yeah, and that's gonna be a problem. And that's gonna be a problem. And that they probably need to get somebody in here to teach him to slide, because he's not taking all those big hits.
But let's also think this is going to be his first full off season. So we're starting talking about how he can develop. Does he need to gain a little weight? Getting that, just getting that stamina up for these games and things of that nature. If we're going to do what I think the Falcons are going to do and probably keep Ritter and surround him, I would just love to hear him going to one of those, y'all know what I'm talking about, one of them great quarterback schools where they kind of, enhance you a little bit. You can make that leap like Jalen Hurts, Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, and something we can do to do that. What are you saying, Dave? Go ahead.
Yeah, I love to see him go down there and work with Tom House.
Oh yeah.
I love to see him go work with Tom House.
But see, that's one of the problems too. It's like moving forward, like the coaching staff is like, is the running back, the guy who used to play running back, is he gonna be coaching them through the offseason?
Oh shit.
Play quarterback again? Like, I mean,
yeah.
Here's something, and Big Low, I want both of y'all to chime in, but Big Low, I know you, especially knowing you're in that coaching field. 7-10 and 7-10. You've been afforded another year because you've been given scraps. But there has to be some type of collateral damage. I know Dean Pease retired, but I'm not sure whether he would have been in good to stay for a third year either. Do you think there need to be some changes made offensively? And I'm talking specifically about quarterback coaching. I know our brother John Harris beat that drum until the drum head come off, which he has a legitimate point, especially when you're talking about a young one. So in your case, Bilo, what would you do? Are you satisfied with Charles Johnson still doing that stuff, or are you trying to go get a quarterback to teach him how to be a quarterback?
Yes, I'm trying to get a quarterback or a former OC or somebody who's been a quarterback coach to teach him how to be a quarterback. The guy who takes handoffs and blocks for the quarterback does not know how to play quarterback.
Right.
I mean, and just like you said, 7-10, 7-10, 2 years in a row. I understand you were dealing with scraps, but it's like the fact that our passing game with what we 31st in the
31st.
Mhm.
and we still have the same OC, and the coach is still calling the plays. Like that's not a good sign to me.
Absolutely. That's one of the things I'm looking at, just to see where. Show me that you're not complacent. I need you to make moves that says, I see that happening too. Again, by default, the defense is going to be like that because Dean Pease retired. But that offense wasn't perfect. The run game was nice, but that offense wasn't perfect. And when you're the guy calling the plays and happen to hold the head coach hat as well, I just want to see you make some moves to show everybody else, oh, I'm trying to improve. Because that brain trust of Dave Ragone, Charles Johnson, and everybody in that room, y'all wasn't exactly hitting on all cylinders. Do you think, Dave?
Well, I mean, how much real? What I want to know is how much real input into the game plan did Ragone and London have? I mean, or was it mostly Arthur Smith? Were they just giving suggestions and Arthur Smith consider them or he don't consider them? I'm kind of confused on what they were really doing because it seemed like Arthur Smith called all the plays.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, were they involved? Were they involved in installing the game plan? Those are the questions I have.
And I'm sorry I keep deferring to you, Coach, but what is that truth in that? Because Dave Ragone, you can't tell me as an OC that you don't have any type input into what's going on there. You just sitting on the side. I don't understand that.
He's not an OC. That's what I'm saying. Yes, sir. That's what he is. Yes, sir.
He getting paid as an OC. He got the title of OC.
Man, he Ryan Pace's homeboy. That's how he got the title. He's just there. You know? Yes, sir. Okay, that sounds good. So I mean, so it's like I don't know if you had a chance to listen to the so at the beginning of last year they had a season ticket holders call, and they were asking like what Dave Ragone's role is going to be, and like Arthur Smith said, so he's going to be develop and designing the plays, and Arthur Smith is going to be calling the plays during the game. So that being said, this offense looks a whole lot like the 2019 Chicago Bears, which was pretty bad. the team that made the playoffs but couldn't get out of their own way. That's what Antonio was in the house. Antonio says, I heard the Titans want to interview Charles London. I saw that, Antonio, that they want to interview Charles London about their OC position. I say let him ride. Let him ride. RJ in the house says, happy birthday, Mrs. Johnson. I know made your day extra special, man. We had a ball down there, man. I appreciate y'all giving the birthday love to her. Atlanta Bird Gang said Andre Rison has a new interview out, and he stated that he should be, without a doubt, be a Hall of Famer. He made some interesting points, but I don't know. He does have 84 touchdowns. I go to the panel again. I vote no, because I just don't think he had was Andre Rison my criteria for Hall of Fame? Was Andre Rison a top receiver for more than 3 years, in top 3 in the league? What do you think, David?
I say no.
Yeah.
I say no. I mean, much as I love Bad Moon Rising, I can't put him in my Hall of Fame right now. And maybe it was because he played in the era of Rice, and he played in the era of Rice, and he wasn't dominant to me. He was good. He just wasn't dominant. And my Hall of Fame criteria is you have to be dominant. You have to be dominant for a stretch of at least 5 years.
I'm in the same boat. Speaking of Hall of Fame player, Hall of Fame Atlanta creator here in the house. Asada, backing up scrub players. like Monty Freeman and stuff like that. Other than that, he a good brother. He a good brother. He mean well. That we call him mean well. Brother Tiny, what's going on, man?
What's Steve? What's going on, fellas?
What's going on, Tiny? You good, brother?
Tiny, we trying to answer your question. So I'm on Bigelow, and I'm about to ask him, and then I'm gonna come to you since you put the question up there. Bigelow, what do you think about Andre Rison's chances at Hall of Fame induction?
I mean, it's like, first of all, shouts out to Dre. You know, he's a good friend of the family. Mm-hmm. He went to school with my father-in-law, so he's a nice close friend of the family. Okay. In Michigan, but I think Andre, you know, have you ever heard, you know, number one in our hearts? Your program. it's like
every Atlanta player.
Exactly. I was like, Dre, you know, he's a Hall of Famer in our hearts. You know, for the culture, you know, we love Dre. You know, and seeing Andre Rison, it was like reality TV before reality TV came along.
Yes, it was.
Like, we got a chance. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, she put his house on fire. Oh man.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
But
absolutely.
But as far as being like dominant, like I can't. Yeah, I don't see that. I don't know if I can give that to him.
Tidy, I even take it one step further because it's a good question. But I look at people who are not getting in. Torrey Holt is by no means a Jerry Rice or Randy Moss or anybody in that league, but I think Torrey Holt had a better career, in my opinion, than Andre Rison. I think Andre Rison was flash. I think to Bigelow's credit, he's right. He was the first probably look at me receiver and was able to back it up on a certain extent. But you brought it up. What are your thoughts on it?
If I had to find a vote on whether or not he would or would not go in, I probably would not vote him in. I think as most of you alluded, I don't think he had the total dominance for a consistent amount of time to go into that group. I think he would be in like as a lot of us say, the Hall of Very Good, but I couldn't put him in there, man. He got some nice numbers though. His numbers are deceiving. If you look at his career numbers are deceiving as far as that argument goes. He has a total. He has 10,000 plus total yards, 13.7 yards per catch, which is exceptional. If you consider the area he played in, 84 touchdowns and 743 receptions, but he really don't make the cut. You know, if he could have had like 2, maybe 3 more just dominant years like he had in Atlanta, I could probably put him in there because he probably had 100 touchdowns at that time.
I need to be at least at 1,000 receptions.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this a little bit earlier when the other guys were talking about we were talking about Mike Evans and folks like that. The Hall of Fame to me is for a wide receiver is going to be much tougher because the game has changed. The game has turned into a passing game. Back when you know, we were a little bit younger in the 70s and 80s, to have a 3,000 yard season was considered outstanding back then. Now you got rookies jumping in, and keeping in mind now 16, 17 games. It's not the high water mark anymore. Getting 100 receptions is good, but I mean, a lot of them are getting 100 receptions now. So I think it's going to be hard for somebody like Andre that has the volume. You can't ignore 84 touchdowns at all. That ain't near double of Julio, right? So I mean, it seems like it. I know he probably got 60 something, but it's a fair question. It's a fair question to ask when you start talking about that. So Toddy, I can't. You came in now. I got to put you on the hot seat since I got the other guys in here. You have the GM hat. I'm not being specific with players, but position-wise, it's the first day of the business season, that tampering weekend with free agents. You just put the Falcons hat on. You have the $70 million and whatever else we're going to have available. What are the first couple of moves you're going to make as a GM for the Falcons going forward for 2023, and follow it on to the draft and what you're going to do?
Well, that's the official quarterback pot stirrer.
Yeah.
Of the Falcons fan base.
Woo!
Hey, I'm looking to see what quarterbacks are available.
Yeah.
I'm first gonna check out that Lamar Jackson situation in Baltimore. I'm gonna see what's going on there. If that's not a possibility, I'm gonna see what's going on with Jimmy G. I'm gonna see what's going on with Derek Carr. I'm gonna see what's going on with Ryan Tannehill. And I know this is probably a minority opinion, but I'm just not gonna hand my keys over to a third round pick in Desmond Ridder. I'm just not gonna do it. Now, if I bring in a Tannehill, if I bring in a Carr, if I bring in a Jimmy G, or whoever, if he beats somebody in training camp, okay, kid, the job is yours, the franchise is yours. But I'm not just gonna hand him the keys based on him playing behind mediocre Mariota. As a third round pick.
No, not mediocre.
No, he
was not mediocre this year. You're giving him credit. Say it what he was this year.
Stop being nice.
Yeah, you are being way too nice. Please go back. Please push stop back to the old cassette days. Push rewind and give me that description one more time. Because I saw you on more than one occasion dog this guy. So don't be nice now since the end of the season. What was he?
Steve, I got to give him mediocre. To me, mediocre is average. And I think above and beyond, he was average for what we expect him to do.
It's not average, bro.
Tidy.
I
disrespected the word average, right?
Yeah. So let me dress this up though, because I hear what you're saying. You're saying from what we expected him to do. But did he accomplish what we expected him to do, really?
For a mediocre quarterback on a bad team, he did what we really brought him in to do.
Okay.
Come here and win a few games, because we knew who Mariota was before we even drafted him. Now, if we're talking about being a proficient passer, he's a below average passer. But as Lamar Jackson has shown us, as Michael Vick shown us live in the living color, the quarterback position just don't consist of passing the ball anymore. And I really feel like Mariota did give this team the best chance to win. Now, I know everybody went crazy over Desmond Ridder's final 2 games that he won, but I'm going to keep it real. Here come the keep it real moment of the day. He won those 2 games against 2 teams who didn't want to win. Just going to keep it 100. Arizona didn't want to lose their draft spot. And after Tom Brady went out of that game, Tampa Bay did not care about nothing but going to the strip clubs after the game was over. And if we're going to talk about TD percentage, Ritter's TD percentage was a whole percent lower than Matt Ryan, who was not good this year. He averaged 177 yards passing per game. So I got to keep all that in proper perspective, when I do my analysis.
Okay. All right. I don't know what happened to Tidy of 2022, but I'm gonna go. I'm all kidding aside. I know what you're saying, and that's one of the things I wanted to address that too. And I'm gonna swing this around to Big Low. There has been this groundswell, to Tidy's point, of folks thinking that just because Ridder showed some flashes and did a couple of things that we should just go along to get along. As I told the last few guys, we're diehards. We're not ordinary fans. Are we going to wait another year for development of a quarterback? Are we going to wait another year to see if he's going to be good? Or, to Tidy's point, you have the capital, you have the resources to go out and improve your team now at the most important position. I'm not telling y'all I'm putting Ridder in the garbage this year. I'm saying if you have an opportunity to improve, and yes, that includes Derek Carr. Yes, that includes Jimmy G. If you're able to improve your team, is that taking us? Is that putting your fandom at risk to say, I want to go with somebody else? I guess that's what I'm saying, Bigelow.
I don't think, because it's like, opinions and feelings, like they can't be right or wrong, right?
Right.
So it's like, if that's what your opinion is, or that's what your feelings are, like, number one, like, never let anyone judge your fandom. Like, they're not there with you whenever you buy gear or whenever you set aside time to go to games or watch games on TV. So it's like, like, never let nobody test your fandom. But I will say this right here. I definitely agree with what you're saying, because the biggest issue that we had with Matt Ryan over all of those years is that he never had competition. It's like, if you look at it, like, he never had nobody creeping up on him, saying, "Oh man, if I don't get right, this is what's gonna happen." If you look at Matt Ryan, every time we go into the offseason and like, hey, it might be time to move on from Matt Ryan. What does he do? Go to the Pro Bowl, go to the NFC Championship, go to the Super Bowl. He needed somebody to keep him right, bro.
Yeah,
I agree.
No argument here.
Absolutely.
No argument here.
So I'm sitting here like, okay, so remember, we traded Matt Ryan away. Remember, we paid most of his salary. We traded Julio Jones away. We traded most of his salary. Think about this. We know Terry F. Baby, Terry Fino.
Please say the baby.
Please say the baby. The Falcons. We know one thing about Terry. He's stingy with the money. Like, he ain't finna just give money away. Think about this, guys. If we went after Lamar Jackson, I'm not saying this would happen. And, I definitely want to cultivate young talent. I want to be like the Pittsburgh Steelers and cultivate our own talent. But if we went after Lamar Jackson, do you think Terry would pay that full salary? Think about that. Terry wouldn't do that.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that, because we went after Deshaun Watson with no money.
This is true.
That is
true. That's true.
You basically told the world you were about to bounce a check this spring. You basically told the world you were going to bounce that check.
Don't get until Friday.
So
out the 5.
I must admit, that's where I come in. And let me tell you, it changes daily for me. It really does. I went to the Atlanta Falcons website and saw the mic'd up with Desmond Ridder, and I saw him, trying to fire the guys up and stuff like that. And, and as a fan, you say, okay, until you realize he was playing the third string of Tampa Bay for most of the game.
Exactly.
I want improvement for my team. If this was 2018, I would understand. If this was 2019, I might understand. But it's been 5+ years since we've even been in a conversation for postseason. I'll even argue that December of each year, we've been out of the conversation. If you're telling me you can elevate my team, and we would with Lamar, or even I'm not saying Derek Carr is a juggernaut, but he would probably be a little better than Desmond at this point. But if you're telling me you can improve this team where I'm talking significant football in December and now January, I got to make that move. And yes, I have the money to do it. And contrary to belief, everybody, if you pay for Lamar right now, you still got $20 to $30 million left to do some stuff with. It's not all gone. Everybody keep acting like this is Matt Ryan. No, you paid Matt Ryan when he was 35 and on the other side of his prime, on the other hill. This cat just turned 26. I'm sorry.
But
it's different. Like, go ahead.
But see, the issue that I have is, like, if you watch these playoffs last weekend,
okay,
Brock Purdy
Right.
Skylar Thompson.
Right.
Daniel Jones.
Right.
It's like you got all of these young Thundercats. Think about this. What's the kid from Huntley? Tyler Huntley. I mean, he's had some experience, but like you got all these young Thundercats that came in playing significant postseason games. These coaches have them ready, Bo. And what I'm saying is that I feel like that's something Arthur Smith is not able to. Like that's the difference between Kyle Shanahan and Arthur Smith. Kyle Shanahan is Arthur Smith on HGH. Like, you see what I'm saying? It's like Arthur Smith. He's an offensive lineman calling plays. So I mean, yes, you need talent, but the thing is that if you give this guy the talent, whenever you get in those significant games, going against the McDaniels, going against the Dables, going against the Kyle Shanahans, are you going to be able to finish the drill? That's the big question.
It's a really good point, man. And I'm trying to tell you, I'm for real. I waffle on this. I waffle on this daily. I waffle on, you know what? Let's upgrade every important position on this team and ride with Ritter. But then I also say we're going to be riding with somebody, and I hate that Tidy is influencing me, but we're going to ride with somebody that we're literally just saying, here you go. We seen 4 games, and I disagree with you on the Arizona game. Arizona was trying to win that game. And Arizona is as scrubby as we are. And they almost won that game. You know they were trying to win that game.
Let me interject, Steve.
Go ahead.
The players are always trying to win.
This is true.
The front office, some of the coaches, as Flores has let us know.
Yeah, that's true.
Front office ain't always trying to win.
Front office. Yep.
What did he say? A bonus? What did he say? $100,000? How much did he say they would give him?
He said $100,000. He said $100,000 if lost game get better draft position.
Yep.
Absolutely. Let me get y'all on answer some of these questions, man. I gotta get to some of the folks on here, man. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Appreciate the panel. Appreciate y'all. Antonio's in the house. What's going on, man? How you doing? Ghost Peppers in the house says Thomas Dimitroff was pretty poor at finding help addressing the defensive trenches. Molded Gonzagola type game, bro. But he's right. But he did try. He did try. I can't say he didn't. Out of your Falcon mind, what's going on, man? Y'all check them out on YouTube. Appreciate you. Y'all hope everybody is doing well. Rusty in the house, new Papa Rusty. What's going on, Rusty? What's up, Steve? I'm one of Dez's biggest fans, but I'm all in on the Lamar train. Sick of mediocrity year after year. You don't win Super Bowls in this league with average quarterback play.
Steve, can I jump in on that?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I apologize. And that's a lot of the reason. Like you say, I go back and forth too, because I do understand people's concerns, and I have a concern about Lamar's style of play and also the injury history. That's valid concerns. The money itself is a valid concern as well. But Rusty really makes a key point that probably puts me more on the side of pursuing Lamar if he is available, because, like, I hate to say it, I love the team, but man, we are in dire straits as a franchise.
Yes.
The last 5 years we've been saying, okay, well, next year gonna be the year. Next year gonna be the year. Next year gonna be the year. And I really think 28-3 did more to this fan base and to this franchise than meets the eye, because it blinded us from what we've been these last 10 years. You take away 28-3, and then 2017, you've only had 2 winning seasons out of 10. That's totally unacceptable as a football franchise. You know, so you get a playmaker, a top-tier quarterback like Lamar Jackson in here, you are immediately the favorite to win your division. When you win your division, you automatically go to the playoffs. Once you're in the tournament, you got as good a chance as anybody else do. I'll say this: if Lamar was to stay healthy this year, if hypothetically speaking, if he's on the Falcons, we would have played this weekend. We would have had a post-game show. You know, we would have talked about what we did good or what we did bad. So And not only that, you look at, because football is still a business. And Steve, you know better than probably anybody on this panel, you and Big Low, because y'all attend a lot of the games. But you just can't keep going to Northside Drive, going to Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and you're outnumbered 60-40, 70-30 in your own facility. So a lot of that reason is why, like Rusty say, I have jumped on the Lamar train, because like we just can't keep crossing our fingers. Yeah, Desmond Ridder gonna be the guy. Oh, Matt Ryan, this is his year. Like, hey, drop the bag, bring a playmaker in here.
And my thing is this here. Does Arthur Smith, like you said, 7-10. Does Arthur Smith really have that kind of time to develop Desmond Ridder?
That's another great
point. Does he have that kind of time?
Because hey, if we go into next season with Desmond Ridder, I know y'all about to throw some bricks and tomatoes at me.
He better be right. He better be right.
I think that's another losing season on the horizon, y'all. That's going to be the 6th straight losing season if you go into next year with Desmond Ridder. I'm sorry. That's my prediction.
I'm going to take this. I'm going to have Big Low tell Big Low in 2017 when that Mercedes-Benz first opened up. Man, it used to take me about an hour to once I hit Pascal's and to get all the way to the stadium and park. And my last 2 games that I went to, I was not only in the stadium in about 10, 15 minutes. Going out, it's usually like an hour to get out. Man, I was home by 4:45.
And you got a little hump too.
Exactly. I'm going south. I got a ways to go. So
you're going through like 4 counties.
Man, Tiny, I'm not even playing, and I want to go back and address one of your points, which is it bothers me. I love this team, and it bothers me when you say the team, how the organization reacted when we had the Super Bowl year. Again, the Super Bowl year was a blessing, obviously, but it was also a curse. You know, I mess with your boy, but all kidding aside, from Devontae Freeman's overpaid contract to Desmond Trufant's overpaid contract to Matt Ryan's overpaid contract to Julio Jones to Deion Jones, we were trying to recreate the magic of 2016 by over-investing in those players at the moment, thinking that type of success was going to last 10 years or 5 years. It didn't even get to 3.
I get your point.
So when we put that money into those guys so early, I think that kind of bothered me. And in Big Low, that's where I hear you when you start talking about the young cats, the Skylers, the Purdy's. Look, Daniel Jones, it's money time for him. Giants got to pay up for him this year. So eventually you do. So explain to me, because you kind of confused me with your last point, but I think I understood where you're coming from. Are you saying go the Russell Wilson first 4 years and build the defense? Or are you saying go get that middle of the road guy and just try to balance it out? Because the names you just said, and you're right, all those guys you just named to me, they're all first contract. Matter of fact, shoot, half of the folks played. Who was the veteran? Look, Daniel Jones, Brock Purdy, Chargers quarterback, Joe Burrow. All these cats are first year, right? I mean, first contract, right?
Yeah.
Everybody on their first contract.
Right. So,
but
is that what you're trying to? I mean,
well, the point I was making was that it's like, think about it. You brought Skylar Thompson in the wild card game, right?
Right.
And he came in. He went toe to toe with the Bills. Went toe to toe with Josh Allen. Almost won.
Yeah, he did.
Arthur Smith brings in Desmond Ridder, who everybody been calling for him the whole season. He brings him in, Arthur, and this is the point I was making is that I don't know if it matters who you give Arthur Smith as a coach. I don't think he's going to get quarterbacks as prepared as the Kyle Shanahan's and the McDaniels and guys like that, because Desmond Ridder came in, played against the New Orleans Saints. He had 2 weeks to prepare. Only threw for what, 91 yards?
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't trying to pick on him.
Yes,
I'm just saying it's
but
one
you
of those.
should.
Yeah, all I'm saying is it's just one of those things where it's like, does it really matter? Like does it really? If your coach is inept in the passing game, because we're looking for balance. It's like, does it really matter who you bring in? Because we look at the big boys in the McDaniels and the Dables and the Kyle Shanahans. They can get their guys right. It's plug and play for them. But on our side, it's like the passing game struggled mightily, and we're doubling up with that like an old R. Kelly album. So it's like.
Robert, I'm sick of this.
Let me know.
Robert, that's my favorite part.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Gotta make it go. No, I get that. That makes a lot more sense. I get where you y'all are wrong, man. Absolutely wrong. I just want to shout out real quick to everybody coming on. Antonio, as always, Mike Culver, what's going on? Dwayne, look at the top of the chat. I got a link on the top of the chat. John Harris, as usual. We talking about you before you even got on here. Sean, what's going on? Sean says our coach is one of our problems. How true is that, Mr. David?
I'm gonna say 45%. One, some of that, as we talk about all the time, situational play calling. Two, his staff.
Right.
So and he has our running game on point. Pease did wonders with the defense with what little bit of personnel he had. But like I said, his staff and some of that situational play calling, some of that stuff, that what really bothered me.
I mean, how many times? I mean, we've all heard the story. We've had to redo the roster. We don't have any money. I know that gives him a little time, but Tidy, how much patience are we gonna have? I know somebody brought up Arthur Smith possibly being on the hot seat, and I don't understand why people get mad when they say that. And when you don't win, I don't care what kind of roster you have. You don't win, you deserve to be talked about. Look, the brother from the Chargers had a 9-7 and 10-6. I'm sorry, 9-8 and 10-7 record, and they're talking about firing him for that one game in the playoffs. Tidy, should Arthur Smith still be held to the fire despite having a basically Division III roster?
Yes. I mean, it's only fair. It is only fair. Yeah, the cap situation was bad. The roster wasn't all that great, but you knew the job was tough when you took it. So you go into year 3 and you're losing, buddy, that seat gonna be Phoenix, Arizona warm in July.
It's gonna be warm. It's going to be warm.
I mean, think about it. Mike Tomlin.
It's gonna be real warm.
Mike Tomlin had Mitchell Trubisky and Kenny Pickett, was rebuilding that offense completely. Defense was on the struggle bus. They still got a winning record.
Right.
It's like Mike Tomlin, and I'm going to tell y'all something. What messed this team up offensively was that Cleveland Browns game. Whenever we ran those 16 straight plays, Arthur Smith, he got the fiending like old Jodeci, Casey and JoJo them, to just run the football as much as
Every time you say it, I'm gonna sing it.
Y'all know.
It's like a dream.
Y'all know I don't know nothing.
How to go get the red soda cup? You go
How do you want it? How does it feel? Throw it up in the fast lane.
Right. Yeah, we definitely ain't boys to be here, but we'll be all right. Hey, let me give a quick shout out to my buddy Larry from the Dixon Way, man. He got folks in here, the Dixon Way family raid. I see you, Justin. I see you, Magic Man. I see you, Falcon Production. I see y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Zach's Sports Car. Thank y'all for coming in after the Hawks victory. The Hawks rarely lose on MLK Day. That's not a coincidence. But appreciate y'all all coming in. Larry, if you get up there to get to that link, go hit in that link, man, and holler at us for a minute. We really appreciate y'all stopping by and talking to us. But we got this outstanding panel. I'm trying to get to a couple more questions here so we can ask the panel what we have. Millie Mills, who's always in the house. What's going on, man? He said, I'm using that money on defense and McGarry. Give the boy a chance. 4 years was a tease to him. And again, Millie, I don't want you to get it misconstrued. As long as Ritter is wearing a Falcon uniform, I think we will support him. But I think the bigger thing we're just saying is if you have an opportunity to get better and the resources to do it, that's what I think that's my biggest thing. If Terry goes out next month and tells us, Falcon fans, I'm going to get Lamar, I don't think you're going to have a lot of people talking about the salary. We'll worry about that later on. That's what Terry Fontenot just came from. They just juiced the salary cap for the last 6-7 years in New Orleans. It's not going to get us down the whole time. But I will go around with this real quick. I'm going to start with you, David. Billy Mills says use that money on defense and McGarry. And I think we talked about McGarry earlier. 4 years, we did not sign him to that fifth-year option. Do you take that flyer on McGarry? Because he's going to cost you. He ain't going to be cheap.
I have to because I have to keep my offensive line together. I finally got some continuity on this offensive line, and I have to keep that together. So I gotta go ahead, bite the bullet, and go ahead and give McGarry this about what 13 to 15 a year he's gonna demand.
And he's probably gonna demand the Falcons give him some years too. There's not gonna be a proven deal. If he signs with the Falcons, it's gonna be for some years. So
it's gonna be 4 or 5 years. It's gonna be 4 or 5 years.
It's gotta be. So you're talking a bonus of about $80-90 million, which again you can play with. Big Low, talk to me. McGarry, what are you thinking? If you got the decision making in your hands, what do you do with McGarry?
Yeah, I do want to let you know. I think that link ain't in the chat no more. I think that's why
it's not. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Let me throw it back in there. I apologize. Heidi came in there and messed it up. Hold on.
Why you put that in there? I mean, yeah, I agree with Dave. I think that like why mess up a good thing, right? I know Tidy, he had a real good video. I make sure that y'all check out Atlanta Bird game. Yeah, real good.
Absolutely.
Video.
Absolutely.
Talking about, I think you said that the cap hit is estimated at around 18 million.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's his market value is about 17 million right now.
17. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, it's like I understand that, but a bird in the hand is better than one in the bush.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what you got. So like, go ahead and bite the bullet. See if you can make some numbers work.
Speaking of salary cap, I don't think we got enough to pay this brother with all the knowledge he has in here. I think that salary cap. Look, I'm gonna have to. Okay, for the rest of y'all that's on the panel, I'm gonna have to reconstruct y'all deal, and y'all take about $2 million so we can sign that man over there below me in the picture right now. He's a high price free agent. We got some. Right now, if I can get it together, I got about 3 expired cans of Campbell soup that I can throw in the deal. If you can work with me, Smitty, I might be able to sign you, brother. Will you go for that?
Smitty, don't let him shortchange us. Steve be on private jet.
You know he got about 20 cans over there.
Every week he be on a private jet, island to island, big ballin'. Steve Birdman Johnson.
Man, that was Photoshop.
Don't let Birdman Johnson do you like that,
man. That Puerto Rico picture was Photoshop. What you talking about?
Let Birdman do you like that, man.
You heard me say he thought I was loading up his jet for him.
That's how he roll, man. Don't ask me one day why I didn't join him out of state. I'm like, I don't roll like you roll, bro. I'm a poor man. Why you didn't join me out of state? He's like, dog, it's Tuesday, bro. I
gotta work, man.
Why you didn't join me out of state?
Smitty, please attack Tiny real quick and tell him.
Must be nice.
What's going on, Smitty? I think that mic is off. You got it on mute, Smitty.
You on mute.
You on mute, Smitty.
You on mute.
You on mute. There you go.
Hey, I got to agree with it, man. That kind of pissed me off to see you on vacation on Tuesday.
Come on, man.
You out there chilling like Jerry Jones on the brother. I can't rule with that. But
well, nobody else on the plane, boy.
Hey man, the kind of money you making, boy, I got to have that fish.
I look back there, I said, that throw pillows in that back.
Hey, he on the private jet with the 2 champagne glasses in the background.
Must be nice. Must be nice.
Wow.
Oh man. What's going on, brother?
Nothing much, man, but I got to give a shout out to Tidy, man. As y'all know, man, I've been talking about Lamar Jackson for 3 months because I just seen it coming, and now it's the perfect place.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just no way around it. I mean, I got blasted for it, but in the end, did I kill? No, I didn't. Nope. You look at the situation, I agree with Tidy 100%. If you have the chance to improve your team in one offseason, go get a former MVP quarterback, and then build the rest of the defense around it, why would you not do that? It makes too much sense in the world.
Makes too much sense.
But
$4 million, Smitty, $4 million for the whole contract with Desmond Ridder. You paying him $7,500.
But think about this though. If you had a second-year quarterback, and we talk about sophomore slumps all the time,
yeah,
would you want your quarterback to have a sophomore slump and your job on the line? Let's be real about it. Let's be real about it now. He got 1 foot in the grave and on the banana peel with a rope around his neck. Let's be real about it. Let's be real.
I mean, it's like we're saying that, but your boy Rich McKay is like, everything is going according to plan. So it's like, I feel like if he goes 7-10 next year, I feel like it's going to be okay. Well, let's see what happens in 2024.
No, it ain't gonna be no more of that because you don't got off all those bad contracts, every single one of them. Now you get to build a team that you want. You went out the superstar player last year. You're probably gonna do it again this year, and it doesn't have to be Lamar. It can be, let's say for instance, Deron Payne. It could be Derek Carr. It could be anybody that's gonna improve his team. But just like Grady Jarrett said, he put it out there. New year, same shit. It's just that simple. Do you really want to go through another year of that? And if they go through another year losing, guess who's gonna say trade me? The best player on the team. And you still got to pay AJ Terrell. What if he turns down his 5th-year option and say trade me too? Nobody just don't want to put up with lose. Look at Jacksonville. All they needed, they always had talent. They just needed the right coach. Right. And just like you said earlier, Bitlow, and I've been saying it for God knows how long. Arthur Smith cannot develop a quarterback. I don't care who likes it, and I don't care, how you come out, how I feel about it. But what did you see him do in Tennessee to make you feel like he could develop a quarterback? He's a run-first coach, so the run game is going to always be his priority. If he doesn't get an offensive coordinator that can develop a quarterback, he's going to be in trouble. Because Dave Ragone ain't doing nothing but sitting out holding the clipboard, playing tic-tac-toe, and trying to find out what he's going to watch on TV after the game.
Now look, Smitty, we seen how Mitchell Trubisky was killing it in Chicago before
hey,
go
boy.
that far now.
Hey, he should have won MVP. But I'm gonna tell y'all what's gonna kill this thing, man, to be honest. If you trust Terry Fontenot, why is Ryan Pace here? And if you haven't noticed, he's been going around and getting a lot of Chicago back. The Chicago Bear that we need, he went to Los Angeles to the Chargers.
Yes.
The Chicago Bear we need is still there, Eddie Jackson. So
I mean, think about it. We got Eddie Goldman, and this is stuff I talk about, guys. We got Eddie Goldman, and he quit. He just quit before the season even started.
Y'all know what the joke was on that, right?
But
then kind of like he was going to the Falcons. He said, "F this." I'm out of here.
Hey, it can get that ugly, bro.
Y'all, over to right underneath me in the panel is my brother Larry from Dixon Way. He just happened to be on the Dixon Way with his live reaction, getting the Hawks another win. Brother, what is going on with you?
Woo! What's going on, guys? Appreciate you having me. My beard thanks the Hawks for a 3-game win.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You had the beard challenge going on where he did not.
I just chopped myself up. Now I'm fresh and so clean joining y'all. So appreciate it.
Well, you missed the spot over there on that bottom side, brother.
I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up again.
Larry, we gonna sneak you in, man. You've been on the other show, so we gonna hit you with a couple of these real quick. Right now, you already got a Falcons helmet, but we're gonna put a Falcons hat on you. It's gonna be a GM hat.
Okay.
I need you, not specific player, but I need you to tell me first day of NFL. Okay.
I didn't like do it, Tiny. You answer the question. Well, I mean, I don't know how you
So we see that part of it. So your GM hat, first moves you're making in the free agency market, and then 1 month later in the draft. So again, it doesn't have to be the specific player, but more position on what you're going to do as the Falcons GM.
All right. I've been listening to y'all guys as I was chopping up my face. Me and my wife talk about this all the time. If I have a chance in this offense to get Lamar Jackson, I take it. But if I'm going to go the route with riding with Ritter and building around him, we've never built the team right before. We've always went for the flashy pieces. That's the only thing that gives me pause. But you don't win in this NFL without a star quarterback unless you build it up right at first. San Francisco build it up right first. Comparing Ritter to Prudy ain't fair because they got a better coach, better offense and defense. Pieces all around. So I don't like that comparison between Ritter and Prudy. I don't think it's fair because it's totally different organizations, totally different coaches. All right.
But, and also, let me add this to this, and then I'll let you continue. My apologies. We also, people forget when they have that comparison to mention that the 49ers traded for 2 quarterbacks.
Hello.
Jimmy G and Trey Lance. You know? But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. But what I'm saying is San Francisco has developed a culture of how they want to play with Kyle Shanahan. You know what I'm saying? So they plug and play. They got the offensive line. They got the offensive weapons with Deebo Samuels, with Christian McCaffrey, and Kittles. They got the weapons. They got the offensive line. They run good. You know what I'm saying? And they got a great play caller. So they got the pieces in there. And just like Big Low was saying, Cal Shanahan got Matt Ryan to do something he never did before. He got a rookie playing like he a pro because he's playing within himself and drawing up the plays to make him succeed. So if you want to make it easy for Arthur Smith, you go get Lamar Jackson and stick him in this offense. But if you want to actually build it right, go get Deron Payne.
I'm gonna ask you this right quick.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't want David Carr, but get somebody there that can at least push Ritter to be better. Just like you said, if you bring in a veteran and Ritter beat him, all right, the keys is yours. But just don't hand it over.
Yeah.
Or draft Hooper. Hooper might fall. He had Heisman talent. He might fall because of his injury. Get somebody in here that can push Ritter. If he wins out, then okay, that's how I do. But I would try to fix the offensive line and defensive line. I'll go get that offensive line for Cleveland. That worked out well for him when we got Alex Mack. Go get his replacement, put him in the center. Now we cook with grease. Pay McGarry. He can't pass block, but he a bulldoze on the run game. That's our identity now. We can't lose that.
Let me ask you something right quick, Larry. I don't mean to cut you off. Let me ask you something right quick. Let me ask you something.
Yes, sir.
You said we don't put together a good team. We had a great team in 2016.
Yes.
We had two great coaches on the staff that were good replacements.
Yes.
After the Super Bowl, the way we lost, Dan Quinn reached his ceiling.
Yep.
If they switch out coaches right then and now, Kyle Shanahan becomes the coach here, we could go on a run as a dynasty and keep adding to that team.
I feel you on that, Smitty, 100%. I feel you, brother, 100%. But as a head coach, you just went to the Super Bowl after your second year. There's no way
nobody's going to do that.
Nobody's firing him.
Nobody's firing a coach.
Now, what could happen?
But the season after that,
they should have gave McFleur. McFleur was actually, I think Matt LaFleur was the key to Matt Ward and Shanahan. Because that's the guy who sat right beside him and looked at that Microsoft Surface and told him where he missed and missed not. He left because Dan Quinn or the Blank thought he was too young, or Dimitro, both of them thought he was too young to be an offensive coordinator. He leaves, go to the Rams. The Rams go to the Super Bowl and lose it. And then he got a head coaching job. So that's who should have been our head coach. Now, maybe Dan Quinn.
I was not saying the year of the Super Bowl. I'm talking about the year after. They went 11-5.
After we lost, I feel.
Yeah, and because that offseason is when Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes were in the draft. And you could have replaced Matt Ryan then when they had to pay him that $130 million contract. We would probably be on another whole conversation right now. So it's all about timing.
Time reality, dog.
Yeah, it's all about time at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm saying
about having Patrick Mahomes.
But my thing of it is with Dirk Cutter here at the time is Patrick Mahomes underneath Dirk Cutter.
Good question.
Hello.
Good question.
Oh, they would have got rid of him.
Were you about to say Big Low?
Oh well, I mean, it's like to Larry and Smitty's point, it's like, and this is what I mean whenever I say like I want to be like the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's like I don't want to be at the point where it's like, oh, we need to make this big move in free agency. Like I want to draft well, develop our talent, and let guys go at the right time and move on because we got another guy waiting in the wings. It's like,
but Big Low, let me tell you how you do that. You know why they so good at what they do? Because they found their identity a long time ago and they stuck to their blueprint.
They stuck.
If you don't do that, you're never gonna be successful. Atlanta has to find an identity all together, and I've said it 1,000 times. It's okay you can run the football, but what are people really afraid of you of? If they're afraid of your offense or your defense. If it's offense, that's fine. But defense is gonna carry you away farther than offense ever will. I don't think you have to have a decent running game. Let's be real.
I mean,
you can control the clock, stop people on defense. You can win a championship. Look at Trent Dilfer. The Baltimore Ravens did it in 2000. Perfect blueprint. And guess what? The Ravens still sticking to the same blueprint as well.
Brad Johnson.
Trent Dilfer.
But let's go back though. Let's go back. When you were talking about Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has had decades to work on that identity, and they've also had the same ownership in place to work on that identity, and it's gone down family.
But see, you just said Uncle Steve upstairs. That's where it started.
Right, right. So from Arthur Blank's in his defense, and I know a lot of people bash Arthur Blank. I happen to think he's one of the best owners. His biggest flaw is his emotions, because when Mike Vick came out there and gave him a flash of a good season, next thing you know, he's pushing him in the wheelchair and thinking that's all cool. Then he goes out and starts all over after Mike Vick and goes to Matt Ryan, where he said, okay, I'm going to go this route. It finally pays off in 2016. So he says, you know what? I'm going to invest heavily in every single person who was on this team. And you invested again in the mistakes. And not while they were playing, but you invested in Devontae Freeman, mistake. You invested in Desmond Trufant, mistake. You invested in Matt Ryan again, mistake at that age. You invested in Julio after he showed you in 16, 17 that he keeps getting broke despite having good numbers. I think the identity part is important, but also to compare them against Pittsburgh is hard. Pittsburgh just went 9-8. They didn't go 9-8 because they're that much better of a roster than us. To Smitty's point and to Big Low's point, that's an identity that they've just had for years. All they have to do is plug and play, because everybody knows the Pittsburgh way. What is the Atlanta way?
I mean,
that's exactly you don't want that answer, Steve.
Let's be honest. In 2010, we know that identity was we're gonna try to run you out the gym. Even though we're not that, I mean, there were times like back in 2020, 2021, even if we weren't that fast ourselves, we still gonna try to run you out the gym. And like that's what it was until this past year, where it was like, okay.
But y'all got to look at it too, man. Rich McKay, man. I'm sorry. I've been saying it for 2-3
like
years
Rich
now.
McKay, boy.
Man, dog, he's part of the problem. If you can't get the owner to see things the GM way, and try to help him understand not to sign all these high-priced players, because let's be real, it's called plug and play for a reason. You find those kind of people in the draft. That's what your scouting department is for. Deion Jones, yes, he was a good linebacker, but he was undersized, and if you switch defense, which they did, he did not fit. Maybe he would have played better outside, but you know, like I said, Rich McKay, man.
Rich McKay ain't going nowhere. He's the
I was about to say
Rich.
Yeah, I know he's the business guy. I know that. But he was the president at one point.
Yeah.
So he let Thomas Dimitrov stay too long. Just like I feel like they let Matt Ryan stay too long.
Just like I told you though, Smitty, think about again. Thomas Dimitrov, for all the mess we give him, gave us the golden era of the Falcons. His first 5 years, we had 5 straight winning seasons, 4 of those in the playoffs. Extrapolate that out a little bit more, he gave us 6 playoff seasons in 10 years and a Super Bowl appearance. So for people upstairs, do you get rid of them that quick? I was listening to the hypotheticals y'all were talking about with Kyle Shanahan, Matt LaFleur. In 2015, they were almost about to get Kyle Shanahan out of here because Kyle Shanahan couldn't agree with Matt Ryan. And think about this. Who do you think they were going to keep if 2016 would have been horrendous? Do you think they would have kept exactly? They would have kept Matt Ryan.
But Matt Ryan was so good, somebody challenged him. He needed to be challenged.
At that time. But again, the Big Low, they're not paying attention to that. Kyle Shanahan came here in 2015 and made Matt Ryan work. Yes. They didn't make Malarkey wasn't trying to make Matt Ryan work because he was running the ball. Dirk Cutter wasn't trying to make Matt Ryan work because he had people he could dink and dunk to. So by the time they got to 15 and Kyle Shanahan said, dang, this is what you've been doing the last 6 years? And finally put his feet to the fire, Matt didn't like that. Y'all know this. It's documented. He didn't like that. So
I'm
sorry. Go ahead.
I apologize, Steve.
No. You good, Ty. Go ahead.
Since we mentioned the 2016 Falcons a lot so far, I'm gonna tell y'all exactly who the 2016 Falcons were, minus the championship, because we didn't finish our breakfast and we know how that played out. But we essentially were the 2011 Dallas Mavericks minus the championship.
Yeah,
Wow.
That's actually good.
I'm gonna tell y'all why I say that.
Okay.
We was pretty much lightning in a bottle for 1 year. That's not who we really was. Dallas went on to beat the arguable GOAT and LeBron. They finished their breakfast. We didn't finish our breakfast when we had the chance to beat the arguable GOAT and Tom Brady. So that season, and that's why I always say that really has blinded us as fans in the franchise. That really was just a lightning in the bottle season. Because after that, we still went to the playoffs, but we fell right off. Before 2016, we were a 500 team. So it's not like we had a sustained period of consistently being a great team. We've only had 2 winning seasons in 10 years. So we just really missed out on our lightning in the bottle season because we the Falcons, and y'all know we blow a lot of leads.
All right. Let me jump on that, Tidy, because I was kind of going that direction. But when he was talking about Dimitrov, I have disdain for Dimitrov.
I know you do. You know I'm one of his number one fans, so go ahead.
But what I will say is Dimitrov, how poorly and piss poorly he drafted, he was an excellent getter on the free agency. He could get players in free agency and put it together, but drafting, that's why we fell off, because we couldn't draft the pieces. We got up into the salary, and then Arthur Blank said, okay, here go blank check. I want all these good feelings, just like Steve said. Sign everybody. We want to keep the band together. You know what I'm saying? But we never replenished. And everybody loves Julio, but we could have took all those picks and built a real dynasty.
Maybe.
I love Julio.
Maybe.
I love Julio.
Maybe.
But that's what I'm saying. The Mitchell couldn't pick. So of course.
Is that Ray Edwards?
You play too much, man.
What I heard him say, he picked free agents well. I heard it go.
I'm like, who's this oily dude over here? Like,
by the way,
Steve had a washed up Osi Umayura.
right. Hey, Uzi gave a little like Ray Edwards.
I'm not talking about Tony G. I'm talking about Abraham. I'm talking about
I just wanted to bring the levity down because Ray.
His best moves were free agent moves.
I got
Alex Mack.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Players like that. His best moves were in free agency.
But Larry, I don't think we give him enough credit for how well he drafted, though, man.
Oh man, you play too much.
Right, I'm gonna go back and look. I had a list of everybody he drafted and who was drafted after this.
Let me ask you this, Larry. Let me ask you this. Can we both agree that Julio and Matt are 2 of the top 5 Falcons of all time?
Easily.
Drafted by the same GM, and we've been a franchise for like 60 years.
Now take away Julio and Matt. Who the F did he pick?
All right. Well, you got some Titans on the team right now that you got to give Dimitrov credit for.
If you say Matthew.
No. Let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. You got Lindstrom. You got McGarry.
Yes.
Oh, he drafted Lindstrom? Okay.
And McGarry.
Actually, Lindstrom might be better than Julio, in my opinion. As a player,
hey, lay off them rocks, man. Lay off for him.
That remains to be seen.
Lindstrom's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Julio will be a Hall of Famer.
He's the best offensive lineman in the league, and it's not even questioned. All right, but go ahead. My bad.
He also drafted Devondre Campbell, who's no longer here.
Killing it in Green Bay.
Okay, all right. I give him
He
that.
got some hits on his drafts, but I just think I think he really catches a bad rep
Vic
that's really
Beasley.
not warranted.
Yo,
Number one
Vic
XFL
Beasley
pick.
pitcher.
Vic Beasley. Number one XFL pick. Can't forget about that.
He looked up on Brady.
Added to the accolades.
He looked up on Brady, right?
But you got to give him credit for whether it's luck or not, though. Because honestly,
because he was good with Vic Beasley.
You don't think the Patriots lucked up with Tom Brady? Be honest.
That's the miraculous.
That's my point.
I didn't even know who Tom Brady was in college.
That's my point. Whether it's luck or not, you still got to give credit to the guy that brought him into the organization.
You can give him credit.
Listen, and look, Larry fought me over this, and it's love because I love to debate with him, but I have not. He has always been on that side of the Mitchell, always, and I respect that because he's holding his feet to the fire because he wants his team to get better. Now,
if we would have filled up on our draft picks and hit on our draft picks, we would have went through that. Just like you guys said, we should have drafted Mahomes or Deshaun. We still had Matt. See, 3 years down the line, don't be so tunnel vision. Now we in this situation because hell, when Terry got here, they said, "Oh, we're gonna run with Matt Ryan for 3 years. We're gonna play out this season." 1 year later, they trying to get Deshaun. Stop playing, man.
I mean, but who would have seen that coming though? Like Deshaun,
I understand.
Deshaun was busting it wide open on the massage table.
You should have told Arthur
who would have seen that coming?
This a full gut job, Arthur. I'm sorry, you don't want to hear it. This a full gut job. We coming in with the hammers. We knocking down the walls. We kicking in the doors. You know what I'm saying? Y'all seen Home, the Fixer Upper show. We knocking out everything.
See, and I'm gonna take a look. That's why I gotta take a page from where Larry coming from. He is one of them cats that's saying, I don't want these little 2 years of winning and then 4 years of losing. Or 1 year. I don't want that. And this is where when people come in and I see them attack Tidy's page and I see them go at Smitty talking about when they mention Lamar Jackson and folks, oh no, we can't spend no money. We ain't got no money. What you gonna do with the money? You gonna spend it on the side and let it sit in savings?
But
you got
like they gonna give us some of the money.
Right. Put it into a CD and you'll get that
It's a business too, guys.
Like we get a profit sharing as fans.
But that's the point. That's the point I'm gonna get to, guys. Smitty, I hear you. I'm gonna let you talk after this. Folks, it's about improving this team. I don't know if y'all been watching and keeping score lately. We ain't winning. We ain't winning with Matt. We ain't winning without Matt. We ain't winning with Dan Quinn. We ain't winning without Dan Quinn. We are losing right now. So this is that part, and that's why I even brought up the topic, which is so great that everybody have different opinions, and that's cool because we just trying to win right now. Is it about? Look, it might be Ritter, and he turns out to be great, but we have been traumatized by this franchise's inability to win on a consistent basis, as we've seen other teams. We've seen Jacksonville win 1 game and 2 games, and now they in the playoffs. We have watched Carolina go behind us and now are really talent-wise above us. We have watched teams like Philadelphia go to a Super Bowl, tear the whole thing down, and are back at the number 1 seed 2 years later. So I don't understand well, you just gotta be patient and just let them develop their development. We gotta get we need that answer now. We need some winning culture now. Go ahead, Smitty. I mean, that's my frustration.
You know what I'm gonna tell them, because I'm gonna make another Lamar Jackson video right after we get off this. I'm gonna just tell them to develop these, and they'll know what I'm talking about.
That's how I feel, Smith. I'd be like, develop these, man.
But the reason why I said Lamar Jackson 3 months ago, and I'm gonna stick to this, and people still say Ozzie Newsome still with the Baltimore organization, but he can't call the shots like he used to. Because if he could, Lamar would have got paid 2 years.
He would have got paid. Yes, sir.
And I'm gonna keep it real. Fans keep talking about that $40-50 million. This is how short-sighted they are. And if y'all watching and y'all mad, I don't care. The salary cap increases every year, right?
Yep.
So next year it might be 12 million. Year after that might be 12 more million. Year after that might be 15 million. Add that up right quick.
Tidy.
So
27 million.
Okay, so in 3 years, it's gonna be like paying Lamar Jackson 20 to 25 million on a $50 million team.
There you go.
But don't forget, Smitty, like that's the reason, because we were handling business like that before. And that's the reason why we're in the situation that we're in now. The pandemic, out of all the teams, it messed us up the most.
But the difference is the way they do it, they front load the contract like they've been doing. By the time they get to wherever it is, you won't pretty much own him, then the guaranteed money will be gone. So if he's not doing,
and I like that. And number one, I like Terry to put pieces around Lamar anyway, because I like this. I like this last draft class.
Oh man, this last draft class was legit.
Would put us where we at now. And
So
Steve,
I like Terry to put pieces around him anyway.
Steve, I got to come at your next door neighbor. I'm sorry in advance.
Oh no, you're good.
But Mr. Arthur Falcon for life, when he told, and Larry, I got to defend my client Dimitrov. When he told Dimitrov to give them contracts to make sure they retire in Atlanta, was one of his dumbest moves as an owner.
Ever.
Okay, I can agree with that.
Ever.
Yeah.
That's what really messed us up. Julio guaranteed money. Matt Ryan guaranteed money.
That's true. That's true.
That's what got us in this predicament.
Okay, I can agree with that. I can agree with
said, "Look,
I
man, you
agree
can't
with
come
Yeah. I'm about to get out of here, guys. I appreciate y'all. I got to get ready for this. I'm going to have a special edition watch party for the Monday night game. Hopefully, Tom Brady lose. I'm about to get out of here. I got prep time. The game come on in about 40 minutes. So I'm about to get up out of here.
Tell him where you are, Larry. Tell him on YouTube, brother.
Hey, man, we on YouTube, man. It's at _Dixon_Wait, man. If you guys want to enjoy some.
Y'all buy him some internet
tonight, man. I had a phone call on my cousin.
Yeah, we're about to donate some AT&T to you, brother. We're about to donate some fiber. You went off the air for a minute.
Oh no, but we do live watch parties. You guys do the post and pregame shows. We the in-game commentators. So if you're watching the game, turn down the game, turn us up. We're entertaining. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I definitely check y'all out, Mr. Larry.
Hey, Country Low, hey man, I always watch you. I just be lurking. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, I like your content, bro.
Thank you so much, fam. Thank you so much.
Make sure you make one of them fish expressions.
Y'all will see me in there getting on all of y'all
pages, man.
I done put links to all of y'all pages at the end of my description. On the end, that's showing love to all the content creators out here for the Falcons that I rock with. So I really appreciate y'all, man. Let me get up there.
No doubt.
Y'all make sure y'all check them out, man, on the end. Appreciate you, Larry. Appreciate you, brother.
Right, man. Deuces. We're
you the man. Listen, I want to put this up real quick before we wrap up in the next 10, 15 minutes. I want to, there it is. Here it is right here. And I just want to show people what we're talking about, because it's not insurmountable, this salary cap, the way it works sometimes. Now we're looking at Damar. I'm trying to combine the name. We're looking at Deshaun and his contract right quick. Now, this is unfettered. In other words, they haven't done any restructuring. They haven't done all of this stuff there. Now we go back to what Tidy was talking about as far as when we were talking about the salary cap hits and stuff like that. And I think you talked about this on one of your lives. That's what I was meaning, Tidy. You talked about, how you can do this stuff. They haven't touched any of this yet. But you know what they can do with this? The bonuses, they can always change these base salary into bonus. So say for instance, this $46 million that y'all see right here. They can go next year, turn 20 of that into a signing bonus, and then they can kind of spread it down the line. Now, here's the fun part. The cap grows $10 to $15 million every year. Yeah. So by the time you get down to one of these years right here, they can stop paying him his salary, but he'll be just like we did with Trufant, just like we did with Julio. We'll still be paying the bonus of it, which, when you have a salary cap by then, which I'm assuming by 2026 and 27, we'll be talking a $300 million salary cap. Trust me, we'll be talking that much. So it's not.
They got a sponsorship too.
Yep. And again, they just made the deal with Sunday Ticket. You can't tell. YouTube just bought Sunday Ticket for $14.6 million. Fellas, that goes into the pot. They have to share that revenue. This is not an end all be all. And I'm only bringing him up because Lamar is going to ask for something in this vicinity. And he's going to ask more because, quite honestly, Deshaun has been to the playoffs, but Deshaun hasn't, been an MVP and things like that.
The best thing to do, Uncle Steve, best thing to do is do like Patrick Mahomes. You're going to go all out. Give him a 10-year deal and, make it for 5. And see what he do on the backside of the other 5. And then that way, you'll have money to spread out.
And then don't forget, too, Uncle Steve, it's like, just inflation in general. Cause I'm going to tell you, price of these eggs is going up, bro. I went to go get a 24 pack. I had to take out a load on the thing, bro. I was like, what in the world?
I'm about to start trapping eggs. Holla at
You ain't making no omelets in the morning. I'm telling you that.
So basically what you're saying, Uncle, is that I need to check out Home Depot's financial statement. It's one of those situations. I'm serious. If it's one of those situations where we can pay them bonus money and it not affect the salary, then we because they're like swimwear.
At the end of the day, they ain't gonna own them but a bag of hot Cheetos. That's it. That's it.
We got a young pup just joined us on there, little Amani with his what's going on, brother.
Armani, you in the studio recording an album? What's up with the
Hey, Armani, can you go hit the piano for a second? Could you? We were here earlier.
Oh, what you want to hear? You want to hear some Al Green? That's
Al Green. That was Stevie Wonder. Armani, hit me real quick, brother. Put that GM hat on. Put that GM hat on for me, brother. First weekend of free agent tampering. First weekend you could talk to people. What's your first move as Atlanta Falcons GM?
Man, I'm gonna see what Fletcher Cox talking about. I'm gonna see what Deron Payne talking about.
Sure.
As far as the defense, we have to shore up this defense. Like I said before, I'd rather do it through free agency because it's always better to have veterans on the defensive side of the ball because, like I said before, of communication. I'm gonna also hit up Bates from Cincinnati. He'll be a free agent. I'm not 100% sure what's up with the corners, but I'm gonna also re-sign Evans, Rashad Evans. I'm gonna just make sure that we have veterans on the defense so we can, when we ready, we'll be ready. Those are my first 2 calls. Lamar Jackson is such a. Are we allowed to talk about quarterbacks? Because I don't know. The group,
you the GM, bro. You got the GM hat on.
Hey, bro.
You know how they do in the group. So we're not allowed to talk about quarterbacks.
Hey, you can talk about lemon pepper wings if you want. Go ahead.
Man,
you got the hat. You got it, Armani. Ain't no rules here. Go ahead.
I would love to have Lamar Jackson here, man. But the thing is. And you guys, I get it. I heard what y'all said earlier. I don't know what the fans think we're supposed to do with the money besides spend it. I mean, how much cap space do y'all want?
Stick quarters in the bubble gum machine. That's what they think we're supposed to do.
I mean, what else are we supposed to do with it? Oh no, he gonna cost too much, or all of this, y'all, is excuses of why they don't want to go get a top quarterback. And I've heard, oh well, Brock Purdy is doing what he's doing. That is a anomaly. That is not the normal. That's not normal. Right. That's the second 7th round pick in what?
That's
30
Kyle
years.
Shanahan's system at its best.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the second. Tom Brady, Brock Purdy. That is not normal.
No.
Not only that, he has quarterback guru and an offensive coordinator guru. He has a great wide receiving core. He has a great running back core. He has the #1 defense. He just has all this stuff working for him. And that's ultimately why it's working. We don't have none of that. No offense, Arthur Smith, no offense. But I don't think that Arthur Smith is on the same level of play calling that Kyle Shanahan is. That's just my personal opinion. But
you ain't gonna get much pushback on that one, bro.
I'm gonna take it back. I call better play.
Yeah, you good with that. You good with that.
Yeah,
I call better play than Tecmo Bowl. I'm gonna be real.
I've heard the Trent Dilfer side. Oh well, we can do a Baltimore deal with Trent Dilfer. That era of football is no more.
Done.
Yes, thank you.
The era of football is gone.
There's not a Ray Lewis walking through that door no time soon.
Right.
Ed Reed too busy cussing out.
And that boy said, I can't even play in this era.
Yeah.
That boy said, I can't even play in this era, man.
And even then, I think those guys will struggle a little bit in the era of football that we're in because it's a pass first league.
Ray's already said he couldn't play in this era.
And then the rules are adjusted for the offense nowadays.
Right.
The days of winning Super Bowls with the defense, just the defense, is over.
Yep.
We have to get that through our head first. Can you win with a dominant defense? Yes. Yep. However, you're gonna have to have a good to great quarterback along with it.
Let me throw this question real quick, and I'm sorry, Armani. Let me throw these questions. Yes, Jeremy Cox, our brother in the Atlanta Hurricane, says, if we get Lamar, here's my quest. Oh, here's my request. Let's try that again. Don't screw with the contract for 3 straight years and make the last 2 a $100 million team hit. And I get, because Jeremy has been, and I'm giving him credit. Jeremy has kind of been like me, and I'll admit it, kind of a waffler. Because Jeremy, I remember when we first started talking, Jeremy was like, no, wait a minute. Maybe. And he probably saw that New Orleans game, and he saw that Baltimore game, and he saw the Arizona game where we threw no passing touchdowns in any of those 3. And he's probably saying, as an Atlanta Falcon fan, and I'm speaking for you right now, Jeremy, I think he's saying, well, if we can get somebody in here to help the team, I'll spend the money. I just don't want to spend it all. And I think people keep making the big mistake, Tidy. They keep making the big mistake of thinking this is Matt Ryan last leg throwing money at, as opposed to 26. And yes, I know his injury history is definitely a concern, but a 26-year-old former MVP who probably hasn't peaked yet. Right. So it's a difference in that, don't you think?
Yeah,
I totally agree.
Huge difference.
Yeah,
because I mean,
go ahead.
You gotta think about it. Those, I mean, I could understand if he had he has little injuries here and there, nick and knack. Does he have any major injury issues?
Well, Mike, he gets sick every year. He can miss 2 games every year. He don't wash his hands.
Okay.
He get sick. He has stomach bug.
My only, yeah.
Like, who gets sick every year like that? But during the regular season, he just gets sick.
My thing is this. Why are we so opposed if we can't get Lamar Jackson? We are sitting at number 8. Why are we so opposed to trading up?
You better not say it.
To get
you
one
better
of
not say it.
Good quarterbacks.
You bet. Oh Lord, you done set the world.
But why are we so against?
Man, you try to start a fight.
Why are we so against that?
Yeah. You chose violence on this show.
I just want to know.
Let me tell you why I'm against it.
Draft.
Hold on.
Insane
Let
as a
me
franchise.
tell you why I'm against it. Let me tell you why I'm against it right now. The reason why I'm against going up for a quarterback is because you got veteran quarterbacks out there that can carry this team. And even though they didn't do good at the place that they were, doesn't mean they're not going to do good here. But if I trade up the board, I said it earlier, I'm going to build that identity on defense. Grady need that help. We need another person to build around on that team. If I can't go get Jalen Carter or Will Anderson Jr., I'm not going to do it. And you also have to look at this too. If you go up the board to get a quarterback, and we said it earlier, is Arthur Smith going to be able to develop him? I wouldn't even trust him to do a Rubik's Cube right about now. The way he's looking at calling the offensive plays, man. Come on.
My question is this.
Wait. I'm offended because I never ever saw the Rubik's Cube.
I never finished one either, so it's like that's why I ain't saying nothing.
Y'all know what I used to do? I used to take the stickers off.
You cheated.
So my question is for everybody on the panel. You have the best defensive player available at 8, but if somehow Stroud falls at 8, who you take?
He's gonna keep falling.
Here's the problem with that, and I don't even mind if that possibly was the direction. He's gonna have to develop too. Yeah. We can't keep restarting every time you say quarterback. You have to go back and restart. We've already said we're doing that with Ritter now. You got to restart. This is why I banged the drum to get Justin Fields in here last year instead of Tidy's favorite tight end, because if we had Justin Fields in here last year with Big Low's favorite quarterback, Matt Ryan, he would have learned. He would have been able to be at Tulich. And now this year, I think he would have been in a perfect position to start the season, and we would have won a lackluster NFC South. I don't mind the CJ Stroud draft if we had a veteran in here. It's only one quarterback legitimately. I know Marcus Mariota is on the roster, but he won't be here soon. There is one quarterback on this roster.
What about Felipe?
Damn, Felipe. That's right. There's one legitimate quarterback on this team, and that's the only thing I'm on it. I don't mind the CJ Stroud, the thought of getting him, but you're starting over again. And I don't want to start over. I'm gonna get a couple more questions in here, fellas. And I want y'all. Go ahead.
Tell ABG to breathe. I said a lot.
But they'll be fine. Don't put them on it.
Tell them to breathe.
You have 6 free thinking folks here that don't have tunnel vision. I'm open for anything that will bring us back to prominence. I don't want to be sitting here on January 16th talking about next year. I want to be talking about the plan for next week's divisional playoffs. I don't want to be sitting here doing this. We've been sitting here doing this since I joined. I think it's 2017 was the time, 17 in the Atlanta Falcons, and all I've been talking about is rebuilding, draft, whatever in early January. I want to be part of those conversations where you start talking about people, what we doing against that defense this weekend. Yes, shoot, I want to be part of the teams that just lost yesterday.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, I don't lie to you. I'm open.
Yeah, that's what you got to keep open. Let me put a couple of questions up here real quick. Ghost Peppers with a great question, a great thought. People keep throwing Watson out as the reason Blank and the Falcons will go after Lamar. Blank actually knew Watson and his family for years. Watson was a ball boy and their emotional ties. Now, that might be true, but I'll also tell you what Arthur Blank is thinking as well. Arthur Blank is looking as he was with that. I'm going to go to the Arizona game because there was a few more people at the Tampa game. He looked up at the seats in the Arizona game, and even Arizona fans didn't want to come to the stadium. And as he looked around and saw all the red seats going on and all of the piped in music that we were playing. Was it not piped in? No, Big Law, I knew you were going to start laughing. Dude, they were piping in defense. They were like, defense. And you could tell, and all apologies to my white Caucasian brothers and sisters, because we love y'all too. But you could tell that was defense. Defense. And I was like, come on, y'all. And I was like, and the funny thing was, it was so loud that when they turned out, you were back in the lounge, like you were back in the bar drinking because it was so funny.
I was like, man, we finna lose some draft picks after the day. I said the thing.
They tuned in low.
We should have learned our lessons. We finna lose some draft picks.
They had learned their lessons over that.
That was $500,000. Why did we get $5.5 million or something like that for that?
Yes.
Draft picks too.
That's right. We sure did. So I'm thinking Arthur Blank is thinking business in here too. Fellas, I apologize. I'm sorry. You've got to do something. I don't mean gimmicky, but you've got to do something to fill these seats. And Deshaun Watson was going to bring a new atmosphere in here. Lamar Jackson was going to bring, if he comes, would bring something in here. My pounding the drum for Justin last year. Them UGA folks, they still think he could have led us to the national championship instead of Jake Fromm.
He might be.
He might have.
We could be talking about 3 out of 4 instead of 2 out of 2. And so you need an infusion of something into this franchise. And as much as Kyle Pitts was the whatever, the possum of the tight ends that he was supposed to be coming in here, it doesn't change the franchise look. I didn't see people running to the stadium to see Kyle Pitts play, but I bet you they'll come if Deshaun would have come. I bet you they'd come if Justin Fields would have come. I'm telling you, it's business.
You know what?
It's not. I don't think it's solely emotional ties too. That might have had a little something to do with it, but it's everything you just mentioned from the business aspect, and also it's a damn great quarterback at the end of the day.
Yes, sir.
Let's say this. Let's say you take Deshaun Watson out the scenario. Let's put Josh Allen right there instead of Deshaun. Let's say if Josh Allen will say, you know what, my grandmother is from Georgia. Hey, Arthur Blank, I'm interested. You think they're not gonna pursue Josh Allen?
Get a heartbeat.
Right. It wasn't just emotions.
I mean, it's like to Armani's point, Uncle Steve, and Tidy's point, because he been beating the CJ Stroud drum for weeks. And I hate to go against you, Smitty, but you know how you talk about you want to build that culture, you're trying to build that culture of defense. I think it's been made obvious, especially with the last few draft picks. It's like our culture, this is Atlanta. Like, we flashy. What was the old JD album, Young Flying Flashy? Like, we flashy. Like, we want to put points up on the board. So it's like,
at the end of the day, that flash will make it broke. And we are broke.
I understand, but look, there's a lot of folks riding around here in cars that they can't afford. Being flashy. You know what I'm saying? They broke. They flashy. They looking good though.
They all looking good.
They going around that Pinto on 22s.
They got that Versace on. They got the chains on and everything with the Versace. They ain't got nothing to their name.
In order to get that culture, you gotta win just one. You win one, the culture will follow behind you. And not only that, I just saw another comment where somebody was saying if we got Lamar, and that's DWB Sports, if we got Lamar, it would solve, I wouldn't say all of our problems, but it would solve some of them, because people would want to come. Remember the rumors last year that Jadeveon Clowney might want to come. Jarvis Landry was talking about wanting to come. Folks, that's not a coincidence. People want to go with folks that have the opportunity to win. And in Cleveland, I got news for y'all. Y'all thinking them few games, oh man, we wasted our money. Deshaun gonna be fine. He just needed to start that year. You can't. It's hard to come.
Yeah, check off the rest.
Yeah,
he check off the rest.
Played in 2 years.
He's gonna be fine. He's gonna be just fine. And we get a couple more in here real quick before we let y'all go. I kept y'all so long, and I appreciate y'all. Jeremy says, because Jeremy heard me talking for him. He's like, I didn't actually talk to me. He said, I just meant I don't want to do with Lamar's deal, which is what we did with Ryan's deal. We kicked money and down the road too many times with Matt. And I agree with you. Jeremy. But I also think again, people are putting the 2022 price tag on what's going to be down the road at 2026. I showed a list, and I wish I had it right now. The salary cap from 2010 to 2020, it went up over $100 million gradually. The only year it didn't was 20 to 21. What were you gonna say, Ty?
I just say one thing about those kind of deals, and we all have to keep in mind, whenever you're signing a quarterback to that type of money, regardless if it's Lamar, Deshaun, Brady, whomever, Josh Allen, that's what you're signing them to that deal for, so you can use that to refinance and keep pulling money back, keep pulling money back. Josh Allen gonna get restructured. Dak Prescott gonna get restructured. Deshaun gonna get restructured. That's just how it's set up. So when you sign a guy like that, you want to make sure it's a guy that you can somewhat depend on, who's young enough. But that's just the nature of the beast. So all these $45, $50 million quarterback contracts, year 3, year 4, they're all going to get restructured. All of them. Every single one of them, no matter who it is.
Yeah, even Felipe Frank's gonna get restructured, even though he's gonna be on the team.
Restructured to American Deli.
Right.
Little wings, little tiny wings. Honestly, y'all got me feeling better about the whole prospect of bringing Lamar Jackson to the Falcons, because before I was like, I don't know, but I'm an open thinker, and I feel better about it.
Augustine, when we started talking about that, it was like September.
Woo! I remember he and I'm not trying to be funny. Alberto, who I just put his comment up there, y'all join him on 95 North on YouTube. We were sitting in our personal text talking about Lamar Jackson. I want to say maybe that was 2 weeks into the season, and it might have been earlier. And the same questions that everybody was talking about now, it's going to be too much. We were figuring that out already. To Tidy's point, folks, just because it says 6 years or 5 years, $250 million, it doesn't mean like that's going to zap every bit of your salary cap. They work with that. They're going to borrow against. They're going to move a little here. They're going to move a little there. It's not as plain and simple. And for the record, y'all do know Derek Carr re-signed a contract for $40 million too. Y'all realize Carson Wentz, before he got traded twice, had a contract that was paying him over $30 million 3 years ago. So if you can see all those contracts get basically, done to a point where, Washington basically got them for scraps, you can get this done. You see what they did with Drew Brees year after year after year, and kept messing with his, kind of redoing his contract.
And I'm gonna be with y'all. I'm gonna be honest. At the end of the day, the IRS is gonna take half of it. So what do we care?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I want everybody to realize I get it. I get it where you don't want to put a lump sum of money in one place when we have so many holes. But that's why they gave the job to Terry. And what we have to hope, I have faith in him, but we got to hope he can do a much better job than Dimitroff after 2016. I think after 2016, I think that's where we started. And again, I think that was Arthur Blank probably nudging him saying, pay Devontae Freeman, even though he really only gave us 2 productive years. Pay Desmond Trufant, even though a lot of people thought Alfred was better. Alfred was a better cornerback, to be honest with you, in our backfield.
Let me tell you what he messed up with that. When he thought about Desmond Trufant, did he really look at Brian Poole, the one character that's in that position going through?
So there you go. There you go. But Desmond got hurt before we made the run, to be honest with you. Desmond was hurt before. Am I right about that, y'all?
He got hurt around.
But did we put Desmond the year before that run?
Say what now?
A couple years before that run?
The following
season.
The next year.
But that was we were riding with Poole, Alford, and
Collins. Brady lit him up in that Super Bowl.
So that's where that comes from. And 330 comes in here. 330, we appreciate you coming in here. Says that's what I was wondering. Will we not create a quarterback competition next season? And that's part of this. Whether it's Lamar, whether it's Derek Carr, whether it's Jimmy G, whether it's Smitty's favorite person, Felipe Franks, whether it's somebody that can build some type of competition with him. Again, let's do the roll call, y'all. Matt Ryan's backups from 2008 to last year. Go.
Dominic Davis.
Matt Schaub.
Go.
Danny Etling.
Go.
Sean Renfro.
Go.
TJ Yates.
TJ Yates. Go.
Kurt.
Go. DJ Shockley. Go.
Shockley.
Eddie Murphy.
So it is Eddie Murphy because it's a joke. Because you're talking about we didn't, give any push to Matt. When Matt was throwing those 5 interceptions against who was that, San Francisco and the Raiders, he looked over on the sideline. There wasn't nobody else to go in the game.
Yeah,
so he knew he was going back in.
Wasn't that behind Matt Ryan but a clipboard, man? Let's be real about it.
You know what's
That's
funny?
it. That's it.
All these teams put in court. Man, the Packers got Aaron Rodgers, and they still went and drafted a quarterback in the first round.
Yeah.
That's the Packers had Brett Favre and drafted Aaron Rodgers in the first round. So again, the good teams, and go back to even Pittsburgh, when you start talking about, teams look for the next guy. Now, when Big Ben was drafted, was Neil O'Donnell still there, or had he already gone? Who was the quarterback?
Neil O'Donnell was gone.
Maddox was there.
Yeah,
Tommy Maddox.
Neil O'Donnell was gone.
Right. So I guess I'm just saying you bring in competition, and we just don't. Christy is here. Christy, how you doing? Christy says Devontae Freeman and Smith's last 2 years were spent running that same play up the middle. How productive can you be when opponents' defense know how to get at you? Hashtag Injury City. Tidy, you got something to say about her? She's criticizing the validity of Devontae Freeman.
You mean the Falcons GOAT?
No, Y'all know what I called Devontae Freeman since Uncle Luke was his agent.
What's that?
Don't block, get it.
Wow.
Don't let John Harris hit it.
I know.
Let John Harris hit it.
John about to come in the comments now. Now, wait a minute now.
That was not his man.
That was not his man to block.
Fellas, y'all have made this so outstanding today, and I appreciate everybody coming. Thank y'all, all the people I didn't get to. I see you, Joe. I see you, Mike Lewinsky. You see you, False Start. I see you, Terry Ward, 330, Winston. I see you, brother. Thank all of y'all for stopping in, but I just want to make sure everyone is able to introduce themselves on the way out. It's almost 8 o'clock, and brother getting hungry, getting ready to go to Big Lo's house and see what they got in the fridge. Go ahead, Armani. Let everybody know where you're at. I know you go on Rev and Red show on Saturday sometimes, right?
Yeah, so I'm Armani. I go on the Red and Red Sports Show where we talk everything pretty much what's going on during that week. College football, professional football, basketball. We'll throw a little boxing in there. We'll throw a little basketball in there. But that's where you can catch me at every Saturday at 11 o'clock.
Awesome. David, you are a resident. What do you call in? Call in person. You are Paul in. You were like the circle square. You're the circle square in the middle of Hollywood Square. tell everybody where you're at, man, and tell them what groups you're in so they can holler at you.
I'm in Bird Gang, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I come on Steve's show. I come on Titus show. You know what I'm saying? And I love my Falcons and I love talking ball.
Out there. Hey, and he is the man if you want to talk ball, and we appreciate it. Toddy, Atlanta Bird Gang extraordinaire, one of Middle Georgia's favorite sons when Warner Robins ain't winning. What happened, man? Why y'all lose to y'all beat everybody and then y'all lose in the championship? What happened?
They was just way better than we was, man.
They were there.
Hey, just like Alabama ran out, it was just somebody else.
Hey, watch yourself. Hey, watch yourself. All right.
Somebody else's turn.
Toddy, tell them where you are, brother.
Hey, Toddy Jones, man. I'm at Atlanta Bird Gang, right there where my name is at. You know, check us out on YouTube. Also, appreciate you, Steve, for letting me come on. Shout out to my dog Armani. Shout out to my dog Dave. Shout out to my homie Big Low Country in the World Bowl. And shout out to Smitty, one of the OGs of the Falcons content creators. Salute and appreciate all y'all.
Absolutely. Thank you, brother. Smitty, since he talking about go ahead and tell him where you at, brother. I know you representing over there because if Big Low ain't got nothing in his fridge, you know where I'm coming next.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I'm old. I'm proud of my Social Security card, black and white. But y'all can
real low. Y'all can Steve age then.
And look, don't let Smitty fool you. He was right next to me on the plane this weekend. So don't let Smitty fool you. Right.
Man, why you got me telling my bed? Why you got me telling my bed, man? But y'all can find me on Smitty Sports Machine, man, on YouTube. I'm always trying to drop content every day, whatever I can find. Hot topic. And just like I said, I'm gonna drop another Lamar Jackson video tomorrow. Me and my boy, Mr. 95 North.
Yes, sir.
Man, we're gonna do a little free agent target, draft target, and we're gonna give y'all our thoughts on who stays and who goes. Falcon free agents coming up. So y'all make sure y'all tune in tomorrow night at 8 o'clock.
Please make sure y'all tune in. That's some fun stuff, man. Alberto is he and Smitty, man. I don't know how they do it.
How can I forget this, Uncle Steve? You said something about Deacon Dunk earlier. So this program is sponsored by Dunkin' Donuts. Let me go get my cup.
Man, y'all silly. We're gonna end it up Big Low Country. Big Low, one day I'm gonna walk over there and walk that little 50 feet and come over there and see you.
Man,
I have literally seen you over there. I literally seen you over there where I am. I'm over in 130. So I was about to throw something at you. I didn't want you to swing. So, but one day I'm gonna come over there and check you out. But tell him,
okay, I be sneaking over to the suite sometimes.
That's what I was finna say. He be sending them sweets. He got it made in the shade.
I get over there to the suite.
Oh man, I'm in 130, man. They ain't in no
He like the hamburgers and the grilled chicken.
Birdman Johnson strikes again.
I'm trying to get like Uncle Steve.
Uncle Steve, boy.
Yeah.
The military.
I'm in row 130. I'm in section 130. Big Low, tell them where you at, bro.
Hey, man. Everybody don't know me. My name is Big Low Country. I'm just an old country boy, former football coach that love to sit around and talk about sports. One thing I did want to say, Uncle Steve, is that, before I went into my profession as an insurance adjuster, I used to actually be a finance manager at a car dealership. And the way you were talking about how we can move the money around to get Lamar Jackson sounds so much like the guys who want to get a truck and they're explaining to their wives, oh man, look, if we do this and if this happens, I'm gonna get a raise in 2 years.
Hey, but
You just had a birthday, bro.
At the end of the night, he gonna be sleeping on the sofa though.
I'm just playing.
But y'all can check us out on YouTube, man. It's Big Low Country. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm from the country. I didn't realize I was spelling it wrong until I graduated from college. Kuntry. Make sure you check us out. A lot of times, me and my wife, Coach Roney, everybody who subscribes are part of the coaching staff. So a lot of times, me and my wife, Coach Roney, we'll just sit around and we'll talk about sports. She's very well versed in it, being a coach's wife for so many years. So
she wanted me the GMs you ever want to see. Don't tell I said that though.
You must be listening to you.
That's my buddy.
Coach Roney, that was not Uncle Steve.
You know I'm messing with it. That's my buddy, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man. Y'all fellas, like I said, I appreciate it. What a great way to come back off vacation. Spend time with some of the fellas. I appreciate y'all. I know we're going to be keeping in touch during the year. I don't know how we're going to do this draft thing because there's too many guys that I'm going to share some love with. I know me and Brother Tidy always got our thing. We're going to do draft night, but we got a lot of off-season stuff to talk about. Y'all see these brothers on this panel. Y'all make sure y'all stick with them throughout the year, and they're going to get us through this two routine deal of not making the playoffs and trying to get some better rosters going next year. Until then, man, everybody, Atlanta Bird Gang, Uncle Steve's Lounge, please subscribe. I see you down at DWB. Thank you for the subscribing. Appreciate everybody. Y'all be good. Have a great night, fellas. Everybody have a good night. Thank y'all.